What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 6 hectoseconds Chapter 107 Itachi's Hokage ghoul looking around the potholes, Senju Chongsheng gave a light wave of his arm. Reiki combines with chakra to form Sage Art Release. In an instant, the potholes of the earth were instantly filled with flat ground. Many green saplings drilled out of the soil, and then grew into towering trees at an astonishing speed. The combination of Sage Art Earth style and Sage Art Wood style makes Senju an instant green sanitation worker. The muddy ground that was originally potholes will be filled in the next second and turned into an oasis. Senju Chongsheng was very satisfied with his masterpiece, did not stay too much, just floated up and flew back to his Konoha Village home. The 3 apprentices were waiting for him in the courtyard at the same time, their eyes filled with awe. Especially Uchiha Itachi, there is envy in his eyes. "Teacher, did you break through again?" Uchiha Itachi took a deep breath and asked actively. "Yes, I successfully advanced to Tianjin." Senju Chongsheng smiled and nodded. What kind of realm Tianjin is, Itachi is very clear, that is a realm that can be seen but cannot be achieved. Because of his talent, Itachi's cultivation has been stuck in the pill formation stage, and he hasn't made any progress for many years. Even Hinata is about to enter the pill formation now. One can imagine how long Itachi's cultivation base stayed. And Tsunade has the longest cultivation time, and already has the realm of nascent soul, only one step away, you can enter the heavens. This is the result of her hard work later on. If it weren't for the pressure, Tsunade's realm might have just entered Yuan Ying. Tianjin. A wry smile appeared on Uchiha Itachi's stiff face. Now his strength is among the top in Konoha, and when Susanoo opens, he is almost unmatched. However, he deeply understands that after worshipping Senju Chongsheng as his teacher, his current strength seems to be powerful, but he can only be the great king in this small ninja world. Immortal longevity gong can make people immortal and pursue the limit of life. It's a pity that he doesn't have this ability. Thinking of this, Uchiha Itachi couldn't help feeling a little lonely. Seeing his appearance, Senju Chongsheng couldn't help but said, "The meaning of life and death does not necessarily require a long life to explore. Between life and death, it's just a 2-level reversal. After you have explored all the meaning of life, when your lifespan reaches the limit, you will be able to fully understand the meaning of death." Facing the philosophical Itachi thought, the best way is to appease him with something more philosophical. Senju Chongsheng himself doesn't know whether what he said is true or not. Anyway, talking nonsense about a long list of things that seem to make sense, and let Itachi make up for the rest. Sure enough, after listening to his words, Itachi suddenly raised his head, his eyes flickering slightly, as if he had realized something different. "I see, thank you teacher." Itachi cautiously bowed deeply to Senju Chongsheng, his eyes firmly said, "Teacher, I decided to become the next Hokage." Senju Chongsheng. This. Yes, becoming a Hokage is indeed one of the ways to understand the meaning of life, and your understanding is still very strong. Senju Chongsheng was bewildered, but still pretending to see everything through, nodded in relief. Itachi is Hokage. To be honest, Senju never thought about whether this guy is suitable for Hokage. After all, the Itachi in the original book, let alone being a Hokage, don't kill too many people, thank goodness. Itachi's personality is very cold, even a little lack of emotion. If he becomes Hokage, it is unlikely that he will win the hearts of the people. But externally, Itachi becomes a Hokage, which is definitely a nightmare for other shinobu villages. A tough attitude, no oil and salt, and a fight if you don't agree, it will inevitably become a common thing. "Teacher, I'm leaving first, and I'll see you next time." Itachi bowed again and immediately left the longevity home. "Did you see it? Itachi did everything for the fate, but what about you?" Senju Chongsheng glanced at Tsunade lightly. The scolded Tsunade smiled awkwardly and said, "I haven't worked very hard in the past few years. You have seen it, Hinata has seen it too, right?" She smiled and led the topic to Hinata, for fear that the master would pursue this matter. "Senior sister has worked hard, I have seen it." Little Hinata nodded blankly and said with a serious face. "Okay, I'm too lazy to care about so much with you. I only hope that I can see you by my side on the road in the future." Senju Chongsheng sighed, and a few short sentences contained many things. In the past few years, Tsunade has indeed worked harder than before. If not, he wouldn't let Tsunade go so easily. Time flies, Senju lives forever as before, practicing and watering at home. Due to the different plane time flow rate, the online time of the group members is also different, and the group is far less lively than before. Jin Muyan. "Mr. Immortal, you can travel through thousands of worlds. I wonder if you can change the world?" In the chat group, when everyone was chatting, Jin Muyan suddenly asked questions. Senju Chongsheng thought a little bit. "I actually have the power to change the world, but it is difficult to use this ability. The existence of the true eyes of the evil king, let alone change the world, changing the flow of time on all planes is not a problem. But the premise is that he can use it, Ainzel Christine. As expected of Mr. Immortal, he really has the power to change the world." Tony Stark. "Does it change the world?" This kind of power, I am afraid I can only achieve it after I have collected all the infinite gems. Yun Yun. Can the world really change? How strong is this? Duty can't do it, right? Yun Yun. Why did Mr. Jin Mu ask this question? Jin Muyon. Yes, I hope Mr. Immortal can help me. There is a problem in my world. Jin Muyon. At one time I thought it was because I saw that there were problems in the world, and that was why it was so painful. Until now, I didn't know that it was the world's fault. His words made Senju Chongsheng sound the classic line, "It was not me who was wrong, it was the world." Senju Chongsheng was embarrassed, and if he wanted to change the world, he had to use the true eyes of the evil king. The lines and sense of substitution of this thing are not something ordinary people can do. But if you refuse, you will definitely be suspected by some people in the group. Senju Chongsheng. I can go and see and think of a way for you. There are many ways to change the world. One is True Eye of the Evil King, and the other is Marvel's Infinite Gem. If the first two do not work, there is a third method. That is to improve the technological level of the ghoul world. Senju Chongsheng remembers that in the comic ending of the Ghoul, it was said that humans have developed food that can also be eaten by the ghoul. In this way, there is no need to eat human flesh. Of course, this is only a successful conclusion. In the future of the ghoul world, there must still be a ghoul cannibalism incident. Just as there are legal restrictions, there are still people committing crimes. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 108, Improving the world's technological level of ghoul species and letting them research out foods that can also be eaten by ghoul species is always a solution to the symptoms and not the root cause. It can only relieve the pain for a while, but it can't completely heal the world. In the end, you still need to use the Evil King's true eyes, or infinite gems, to transform the world. Senju Chongsheng chose the past, in fact, to sign in. If you encounter an enemy, you can also help the Jinmu to be destroyed by the way, to avoid the subsequent battles from being too tragic. The sign-in reward for staying in the ninja world can no longer satisfy him. Jin Muyon. Thank you very much, Senju Chongsheng. I'll go over as soon as I prepare, wait for me. After speaking, Senju Chongsheng's sense of sight came out. He was found alone in the house. So Senju Chongsheng didn't bother to leave a message. Anyway, it was only a while, and he would be back soon. Quickly click on the function of passing through the group in his mind, and the target is directly locked at Jin Muyon. He had sent Tanjiro and Kyojin Yujin to go there before, and he had long possessed the Ghoul World coordinates. Therefore, without the permission of Jin Muyon, the world channel is directly opened. Senju Chongsheng stepped forward, and the picture in front of him changed accordingly. What you see is an exquisite coffee shop with several men and women in the house. They cast surprised glances at the same time, and they did not panic too much. It was obvious that Jin Muyon had already taken the shot. Hello, Mr. Immortal, meet for the first time. At this moment, a young man with black and white hair in front of him walked up with a soft smile on his face. They are all my friends. I'm very sorry that I didn't report to you in advance. The man who looked very gentle in front of him was the Jin Muyon of the Ghoul World. Senju Chongsheng didn't care. No matter which world he went to, he never thought about hiding his identity. Unless it is a situation that will cause trouble and riots, he will hide himself. It's okay, I don't care about it. Senju Chongsheng smiled and said silently in his heart, sign in. Here comes, you can finally get the first sign-in reward again. This is the primary purpose of his coming here. As for changing the world, helping to solve problems and so on, it's only second. Open black lens bracket ding. You have successfully signed into Ghoul World. Congratulations on getting a bottle of S2 potion at a time. Close black lens bracket. What? In secondary medicine. Senju is stunned forever. What the hell is this? Although I got it for the first time, from the name, it doesn't look good. That's great, let me introduce my friends to you. This is Dong Shang, this is. With Senju Chongsheng's understanding, Jin Muyon smiled more kindly and took the initiative to introduce him to friends. It's just that Senju Chongsheng didn't listen to this, he was caught in a battle between heaven and man. One-time second-degree medicine. It can make the user become a super second-degree patient within 5 minutes, and the effect is only one time. Seeing the introduction of this bottle of potion, Senju Chongsheng has realized that this is what he used to match the Evil King's true eye. Senju Chongsheng even began to wonder if this system deliberately cheated him. Knowing that he was very resistant to secondary 2, he even gave him a package. Especially at this point in time and location, isn't it just to come over and change the world, but doesn't it use the true eyes of the Evil King? The second potion in this bottle is really timely raw. Mr. Immortal, do you have coffee? The coffee here is very good. Jin Muken's gentle voice drew Senju Chongsheng back to his senses. Yes, then try it. Senju Chongsheng smiled and nodded. The people around him were looking at him in secret, wanting to see how powerful this man who can travel through other planes is. But no matter how long they observed, they all felt unremarkable, as if they could pinch each other to death. While these people are observing Senju's longevity, he is also observing each other. Judging from the appearance of these people, as well as the state of Jin Muyon, The world line here may have undergone great changes long ago. If Senju Chongsheng is correct in his calculations, Jin Muyan at the current stage should be a ghoul investigator at CCG. Because Tanjiro and Yorin came to save Jinmu, Jinmu didn't join the Bronze Tree, and was not taken away by the CCG's Gamaru Arima? Senju Chongsheng secretly calculated it to himself, and felt that the possibility of his speculation was very high. Look at Jinmu's hair color and state. It seems to be more powerful than the ending in the original book. This is your coffee. Jin Muyan brought the coffee to Senju Chongsheng, and Dong Shang in the distance also smiled. Senju Chongsheng took a sip, slightly bitter but mellow, which was refreshing. Go straight to the subject. I can help you change the world, and even eliminate the existence of ghoul species directly. Senju Chongsheng said indifferently. Of course, you can just eliminate the cannibalistic characteristics of the ghoul species, keep your Kagatsu, and tamper with the history of this world. The more he said it, the more it seemed to be in the Arabian Nights, and the eyes of the people around him gradually became questionable. Only Jin Muyan's eyes were full of excitement. Others don't understand the power of Senju, but Jin Muyan, as a member of the chat group, is very clear. Mr. Immortal never lied. However, my actions are never free, although many people use credit, such as Tony Stark. Senju Chongsheng's voice paused. I believe you will make up later, but what can you give me? This time I came to Ghoul World because I wanted to sign in and get rewards, but I came here to get a bottle of the second potion. You know, he is in the Marvel world, but he is an infinite gem. This gap is really uncomfortable. Jin Muyan looked at him for a moment, and then fell into silence and thinking. Several of the friends in the rear showed angrily. Hey. I said, what's the matter with you? Why do you need to be paid if you have the ability to save the world? Can you just change it yourself if you want something? A man with lavender hair came over, dressed in a neat suit even more temperamental than Kirajiing. But his face is indeed frowning, as if he is ready to use violence. Gourmet, Yu Shangxi. He felt that Jin Muyan had been deceived, and the person in front of him not only wanted to be paid, but he also said that he was too crazy. What is the difference between this and a liar? Ha ha. Senju Chongsheng chuckled twice, just glanced at each other lightly, completely ignoring the intention. Facing the ants, he would look at it more, which was already a shame. But his behavior angered Yu Shangxi. Scarlet and weird pupils suddenly appeared. Yu Shangxi showed fierce face, and directly reached out his hand, to teach the person in front of him a lesson. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 109. Seeing Yu Shangxi's behavior, Jin Muyan looked surprised. As soon as he was about to stop, Senju Chongsheng's fingertips moved. A sharp light flashed by, and Yu Shanzai's palms stopped in the air, and his eyes became dull. Shit. Blushing blood splashed out, and the warm and peaceful coffee shop was also stained the scarlet land. Yu Shangxi's body seemed to be split in half from the right center. The blood and internal organs were scattered on the ground at the same time, and the people watching were shocking. Even if Yushin Shi is a ghoul, he has to kill him directly. Yushin. Damn, this guy actually killed him. Bastard thing. In an instant, everyone was angry. They sacrificed Kazuko one after another, and the scarlet eyes exuded a strong murderous intent, and they attacked collectively. Senju Chongsheng sneered, and truth-seeking ball suddenly appeared behind him. The black truth-seeking ball transforms into a spear shape and pierces out with a sound of breaking through the air. Puff puff puff. All the ghoul species in the cafe were pierced by truth-seeking ball and nailed to the wall. Although not dead, but unable to break free, Jin Muyan also sank, and hurriedly said, Mr. Immortal, please forgive me, they are rude. You quickly apologized to Mr. Immortal. As for Yushin. Jin Muyan's complexion was a bit ugly, but this person was a subordinate who followed him, and he was considered a friend. He didn't feel good about dying directly in front of him right now. But who told Yu Shangxi to provoke Mr. Immortal? It can only be said that Yu Shanxi is too reckless in normal times, and he appears casual and arrogant in front of anyone. Now that I hit the iron plate, I naturally overturned the car. Even Jin Muyan did not expect that Yu Shangxi would dare to do something to Mr. Immortal. Even more unexpectedly, Mr. Immortal would have such a cold side. Killed directly on the spot. Dong Shang and others who were nailed to the wall didn't mean to apologize at all of them showed fierceness. As a ghoul, fighting is indispensable. How can someone who fights all day apologize for fighting? Jin Muyan sighed and got up and bowed to Senju Chongsheng to apologize. I apologize to you for my friends. I didn't explain the matter to them. It was my fault. His tone was very sincere, and his heart was extremely tense. If this mysterious group owner is really offended, he and his friends will probably die here. I hope this is the first and last time, Senju Chongsheng said coldly. He knows Yu Shangxi. This person is a gourmet who feeds on humans. Kill it. If Yu Shangxi did not take the initiative to give away the head, Senju Chongsheng would not bother to care about the person. As a result, the other party has so little eyes, like those domineering rich second generation. For this kind of person, Senju Chongsheng naturally kills it casually and eliminates harm for the people. At the same time, to frighten those who questioned him. Jin Muyan heard this, and he was relieved immediately. Don't worry, this will never happen again. If it happens again, I will deal with Mr. Immortal. As for the reward, I plan to build a Kazuko long knife for Mr. Immortal. The weapons on the CCG investigator's side are all made by Ghoul Kazuko, with peculiar effects. Jin Muyan was a human before, killing some evil ghoul species without any sympathy. After Senju Chongsheng changes the world, people from CCG can help build weapons. Although it does not seem to be very expensive, this is already Jin Muyan's mind. It is also the best thing he can produce, Ro. The frost on Senju Chongsheng's face disappeared, and a light smile appeared again. The dark truth-seeking ball dissipated out of thin air, and the bodies of Dong Shang and others fell directly from the wall. The bleeding wound quickly healed completely, and there was a trace of fear in Senju's eyes. Shall I arrange a resting place for Mr. Immortal? No, I will leave soon. Senju Chongsheng rejected Jin Muyan's kindness. He got up and walked out of the cafe, his pupils glowing with faint golden light. It was already late at night, and the silence outside was frightening. Mr. Immortal, are you about to start? Jin Muyan asked after coming out. Forget it. I will take out the characteristics of Ghoul who wants to eat people, and then modify the memories of everyone in this world. Senju does not intend to remove the power of the Ghoul species. This is the power system of this world and has formed a cycle. Ghoul possesses Kazuko, and search officers also have the power to catch Ghoul. As long as Ghoul does not commit a crime, he will not be arrested by search officers. At the same time, I will remove the problem of inability to reproduce between the Ghoul species and humans, so that the Ghoul species will completely become a human with special abilities. Senju Chongsheng looked back and said, what do you think? Do you have anything to add? No, thank you Mr. Immortal again. If you can use my place in the future, please feel free to give instructions. Jin Muken bowed again with excitement and thanked him, tears in Kakuzu's eyes. He never thought that the biggest barrier between Ghoul and humans would be solved so easily. It looks like the world is actually not that painful. I will not change your memory, but I will change the memory of everyone around you. After speaking, Senju Chongsheng also took out the second medicine. The transparent potion bottle is filled with golden liquid, which is cast like gold. The liquid exudes fragrance through the bottle. The moment Senju Chongsheng opened the bottle, the liquid began to boil. There is a tendency to transform into a golden dragon and ascend to heaven. The second potion in a bottle is like an elixir. Senju Chongsheng was unable to vomit inside, and soon drank the medicine in the bottle. The rich scent filled the tip of the tongue and filled his nose, giving him a sense of ecstasy. At the same time, Senju Chongsheng's golden pupils became dazzling and brilliant. Boom! A terrifying aura erupted from Senju Chongsheng's body. He felt that he possessed unprecedented power, as if the palm of his hand was squeezed, and the stars turned back into bursts. Take another one to reshape the broken stars. The Ghoul world seems to be completely controlled by it, and can be modified and destroyed at will. It turns out that creation and destruction are so simple, Senju Chongsheng said calmly. That. Mr. Immortal, do I need to avoid it? Jin Muyan, who was standing by, did not leave, he asked cautiously. He felt that Mr. Immortal in front of him seemed to be different. It's okay, it's just a mere change of the world, and it's time for all of you to see what immortality is. Senju Chongsheng once again said flatly, without any waves in his tone. At the same time, the live broadcast in the group was opened in my mind, and the face of the Ghoul world was presented in the chat group. Senju Chongsheng's face was calm, his eyes gleaming, and Haki spoke to the live broadcast. Those who believe in me shall live forever, and be immortal. Today, let you witness, why the power of immortality, why the creation and destruction. Permeating through thousands of worlds, I am the only one who is immortal. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 110 Disappear. This world. Senju Chongsheng's solemn opening remarks shocked everyone in the chat group. No one will think about the second aspect at the moment. After all, no one knows that there are such things as the second medicine. They only felt that Mr. Immortal seemed to be doing a big thing, and Lenovo had to change the world of Ghoul before. Everyone couldn't help but breathe, and stop their work one after another, staring at the live broadcast seriously. Yun Yun. Mr. Immortal, this is to. Ainzer Christine. Change the world. Shajichu Shiyu. Hiss. No way, this is the beginning? Jin Muyan. Yes, Mr. Immortal is about to change the world. The exclamations and questions from the group members were directly affirmed by Jin Muyan. Everyone's heart shuddered. The moment the live broadcast started, everyone entered the live broadcast room. The flow of time seems to be synchronized only at this moment. Senju Chongsheng's eyes bloom with golden light, like two golden red flames. In the dark night, the light from his eyes turned into day. It's like a small round of sundays, rising slowly. Burst. Reality. Hum. As Senju's voice fell, a dazzling golden light seemed to have the power to destroy the world. The golden light spreads out around Senju Chongse. Ground, building, vegetation. All fly up at this moment, turning into nothingness in midair. Rumble. Jin Muyan looked startled, and hurriedly used his arm to block the light. But the magic is that the golden light passed through his body without causing any harm to him. He turned his head suddenly, and saw that the cafe behind him was directly destroyed by this golden pillar. His friends also disappeared with the golden light. The buzzing is deafening. When the sound reached its limit, Jin Muyan had already lost his hearing. He was completely shrouded in golden light, surrounded by misty and colorful, and Ruixia was gorgeous, as if he had come to a curvy fairyland space. With the spread of golden light, the entire earth was shrouded in this dazzling light and turned into nothingness. Only Senju Chongsheng and Jin Muyan are suspended in the center, and the brilliant golden light is still spreading outward. Smash it, spirit! Senju Chongsheng's face was expressionless, and he gave a soft drink again. The sound penetrated the universe, as if buffing the golden light, and the speed of diffusion suddenly accelerated. The entire solar system was submerged by golden light, and the galaxy shattered. At this moment, Jin Muyan had lost consciousness, and the golden light in front of him had become a vast expanse of whiteness. The only color that can be seen is the 10,000 Realms chat group in my mind. The group has completely exploded the pot. Whether it is the Bone King Ain Gong, the future Emperor Yifan, or the always calm Kira Jiying. All the members of the group were shocked and their eyes widened. Except the Bone King. Tony Stark. Umai Karma. Is the solar system so gone? Portgas Dace. Godlike power. Is this the power to change the world? Polygonum cuspidatum. What a terrible ability. Jin Muyan. I have no sense. If it were not for the existence of the chat group, I would have thought that I was dead. Yun Yun. Everyone will immortalize Mr. S live broadcast perspective, he can stare at the entire universe. Seeing Yun Yun, everyone immediately cut the live broadcast to Senju Chongsheng's side. Looking down at the vast starry sky, the galaxy and the Milky Way outline a stunning and beautiful picture. The bright golden light is rapidly flooding this vast universe, and the explosion of the planet reflects the brilliant starlight flame. Saitama. I'm on fire. Shajichu Shiyu. I just cracked it. Izumi Sagiri. So amazing, Beatrice. To change the world is to reshape the world, and the prerequisite for reshaping is destruction. Yifan. Mr. Immortal has the ability to destroy the entire world. For him, isn't the planet indestructible at the touch of a finger? Senju Chongsheng didn't have any thoughts about the shock of the group members. He remained expressionless, standing in the center of the golden light. But the world in his eyes was not a vast expanse of whiteness, but a vast universe. The golden light at this moment has flooded the planets, stars, the Milky Way, and the universe. Both planets and creatures disappear at this moment. Senju Chongsheng shook his palm abruptly, as if he was holding the stars of the universe. Disappear. This world. As his voice fell again, he clenched his palms into fists, as if he had wiped out the stars of the universe. The buzzing is gone. The golden light also dimmed. The white universe is like a small black room with the lights off. The white light also disappeared. Whether it is Jin Muyan or a member of the 10,000 Realms chat group. I can't see any sight, nor can I hear any sound. Only endless darkness is left. Yifan. The entire universe has disappeared? Beatrice. You can't see anything in all black. Ainsul Christine. Is Mr. Jinmu still there? Respond to the words? Acedes. The pictures of Mr. Immortal and Jin Muyan are all black. Saitama. Is this reshaping the world? I am even more burnt? Shaman Tanjiro. It seems that Mr. Jinmu has completely lost consciousness now. The messages in the chat group reach 99+ instantly. Except for Senju Chongsheng and Jinmu finished, everyone came out. The dark scene lasted for 3 full minutes, as if the camera had fallen into a black hole. Finally, when everyone was discussing, a little white light suddenly appeared. The light spot rotates slowly in the dark, as if the chaos is beginning to open, it can create everything. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared beside the light spot. It was Senju Chongsheng who reached out and touched the light spot lightly. His golden pupils exuded vast power, and the light spot that was touched was also shining brightly at this moment. The white spots of light suddenly spread out, turning into colorful balls of light. The sphere gradually grew larger, forming stars colliding with each other, and star regions gradually formed in this collision. In less than a minute, it went from darkness to blankness to the vast starry sky. A familiar planet appeared in front of the group members. It was the Earth that was just destroyed by the golden light. Senju Chongsheng stood on the surface of the Earth, and Jin Muyan had lost consciousness and was lying on the ground. The Earth began to evolve rapidly, cells gradually took shape, and ages were born and destroyed. Senju Chongsheng is like a passing time, standing in place to watch the changes of the times. Finally, the birth and evolution of mankind. Stone Age, Bronze Age, Agricultural Age, Industrial Age, Information Age. Prosperous cities stand up, and human beings are busy walking around the Earth. At this moment, the picture suddenly stopped, and the time flow rate returned to normal at this moment. The sun is sky, and passers-by are hurrying. Jin Muyan just lay on the ground and fell asleep, while Senju Chongsheng stood still, the golden light in his eyes finally dissipating. Behind it is the cafe of Dongshang and others. Jinmu, Why are you sleeping in the doorway of the cafe? At this moment, Dong Shang walked out holding the tray of coffee. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 111. I'm so direct and really fragrant. Ah, Mr. Immortal is here too. You are so true. How can you make Jinmu sleep on the ground like this, but you will catch a cold? A wry smile appeared on Dong Zhang's delicate face, and immediately yelled into the room. Several people in the cafe walked out at the same time and brought Jin Muyan, who was lying on the ground, into the house. Familiar Dong Shang and others, familiar coffee shop. But everything is no longer the same. Senju Chongsheng has reshaped the world and modified the memories of these people. In order to prevent trouble from happening, Senju Chongsheng specially implanted his identity into these people's minds. In the impression of Dong Shang and others, Senju Chongsheng is an easygoing peak power. That's why Dong Shang made that gesture just now and said so familiar words. I just passed by here and happened to see Jin Mu lying on the ground, just planning to call you. Senju Chongsheng gave a faint smile and said, let Jin Mu rest, I'll go back first. Dong Shang held the plate and nodded. You go slowly, be careful on the road. Senju Chongsheng smiled and nodded, and immediately activated the traversal function of the 10,000 Realms chat group in person. Looking at the place where Senju Chongsheng disappeared, Dong Shang did not reveal any abnormalities, but bowed slightly, then turned and walked into the cafe. The live broadcast in the chat group was also closed at the same time. Huh, fuck embarrassed, I can say that kind of thing. Back in the Hokage world, Senju breathed a long time ago and his face felt slightly hot. Burst it, reality, smash it, spirit, go away, this world. Ah. Senju Chongsheng covered his handsome face with black lines all over his head. However, the effect produced by the evil king's true eyes is really powerful. Directly blow up a universe and then reshape the universe. This kind of ability, placed in the fantasy world, is also something that only a top-level existence can barely accomplish. Mada, it's so fragrant, Kirajiing, it was a shocking scene. Portgas d'Ace. I really want to know if there is a stronger existence than Mr. Immortal. Tony Stark. It's not me who blows, there are thousands of worlds, but the Immortal dominates, absolutely no one can be stronger than Mr. Immortal. Ainzer Christine. Mr. Tony is really my confidant, and I think so too. Acedes. My Mr. Immortal is really amazing, Portgas d'Ace. I really want to know if Mr. Immortal is really a god of the world. Ainzel Christine. Even if it is not, it is almost the same, but don't forget, this group was founded by Mr. Immortal. Ainzer Christine. And according to my subordinate speculation, Mr. Immortal is the god of the game world, and we are the lucky ones in this game. Tony Stark. God, it's really interesting. Polygonum cuspidatum muhito. Is it not so good to discuss Mr. Immortal in the Mr. Immortal group? Saitama. Well, peace of mind, Mr. Immortal is still very good, but I don't care about it. Saitama fought with Senju Jiangsang and the experience was very good, so he thinks Senju Jiangsang is also a good person. Well, fight to know people, Beatrice. By the way, it's been a long time since I joined a newcomer in the group. Tanjiro Chiaoman. If you want new people to come in, you must upgrade the chat group. Yifan. The time flow rate is different, which causes the group activity to decrease. Without activity, the chat group cannot be upgraded. Tony Stark. Indeed, it can only be natural. Senju Chongsheng. The activity level will soon reach the upper limit, but I was a little surprised that you were expecting newcomers so much. Portgas d'Ace. Ha ha ha. It turned out that Mr. Immortal was also watching the screen in the group. Polygonum cuspidatum yohito. More people will make it more lively. Shajichu Shiyu. No, they just want to see more different world styles. Yifan. Tisk, tell the truth. Seeing this, Senju couldn't help but smile. The members of the group are looking forward to the new world, why didn't he look forward to it? Only by signing in to Otherworld can we get more resources and go further. Senju Chongsheng's expectations for the new staff are no less than them. After leaving the chat group, Senju Chongsheng glanced at the time. Finding that several hours had passed, my heart suddenly secretly said something was wrong. The flow of time in the ninja world is much faster than in other worlds. Obviously he only stayed in the ghoul world for a few minutes, and several hours have passed since he returned. Huh? Isn't this the master? Where have you been in these few hours? Senju Chongsheng just said that it was not good. Tsunade walked in with Hinata and asked doubtfully. Fortunately, it didn't disappear for a few days, but only disappeared for a few hours, so Tsunade didn't think much about it. It's okay. I found a few strange people just now, I just went out and took a look. Senju Chongsheng took a sip from the water glass and said calmly. Huh? Who can let Master you chase for a few hours? Tsunade was surprised. With Master Tianen's cultivation base, chasing someone is just a matter of thought. In a few hours, I'm afraid I can run a few laps around the ninja world, right? That place is a bit special. After I went in, I went back to Konaha. When I found a way to return, several hours had passed. Senju Chongsheng's heart is slightly stunned. Fortunately, he has watched the Hokage theatrical version and knows that there is a place to travel through time. Even if Tsunade asks all kinds of details, he can deal with it freely. Really? There is such a magical place. After listening to Senju Chongsheng's detailed description, Tsunade also dispelled his doubts. By the way, do you understand illusion, master? When Tsunade asked suddenly, Senju was a little surprised. How well, I asked about illusion. Is it possible that Tsunade intends to abandon the body and turn to fantasy? It's nothing, it's just that the ninja world has not been peaceful recently. The Akatsuki organization started to attack the major ninja villages, trying to catch the tail beasts. Tsunade fiddled with the greenery in the house and said, so many people in the village are beginning to train nervously for fear of fighting. Then Shi Rihong found me and said that he wanted to find a master of illusion to guide illusion. There are also Naruto and Jiraiya. Now they ran to Mount Myoboku and said they wanted to practice sage art. Obviously, master is an immortal, they still have to go to such a place to study. Are you funny? Speaking of this, Tsunade couldn't help giggling. After hearing this, Senju Chongsheng finally understood. It turned out that it was not Tsunade who wanted to learn illusion, but Yurihong wanted to learn, but could not find a more powerful illusion teacher. Senju Chongsheng is indeed a master of a lot of illusions, and Itachi's illusions are actually taught by him. It's just that during that time, Tsunade didn't practice hard. As soon as he saw that Senju Chongsheng was going to teach Uchiha Itachi, he immediately went to other places, so Tsunade didn't know that he still knew illusion. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 112. Yun Yun was drugged knowing that it was not Tsunade that was going to transform. Senju Chongsheng lost interest in an instant. There are illusions too, you can take these to Shi Rihong, the illusions in it are enough for her. Senju Chongsheng casually threw a ninjutsu scroll, which recorded a large number of illusions. No way, just looking at the ninjutsu scrolls. The learning speed is very slow. Tsunade Yu said with a delicate chin in his hand. Then you can go to Itachi to teach her. Itachi's illusion skills are amazing, combining the virtual and the real to make the fake and the real. Isn't Itachi saying that he wants to become Hokage? I'm busy studying various government affairs now, how can I have time to teach? Hearing this, Senju Chongsheng yawned and said lightly, she is not my apprentice, so I don't bother to teach it. You can take the scroll to her. He had to sign into other worlds to get rewards, but he didn't have time to teach illusion. Seeing Master's refusal, Tsunade shrugged his shoulders without being too forceful. After she put away the scroll, she ran to find Shi Rihong. Master is going to play in other worlds, so I don't teach Red Sister illusion skills? Hinata, who was thrown here by Tsunade, had a very delicate mind and suddenly broke through Senju's longevity. It's not going to play, it's going to do errands, don't tell your senior sister. Senju Chongsheng smiled awkwardly. Yeah, I know, I will definitely not tell senior sister. Hinata nodded obediently, earnestly writing on her little face. Senju Chongsheng breathed a sigh of relief, smiled and took out Go, and started a game of entertainment with Hinata. Konoha's leisure life, the outside world is surging. In 3 years, Akatsuki successfully captured 5 tails, 6 tails and 7 tails, which can be described as menacing. Konoha Village also sent a number of ninjas to collect more intelligence information to prevent Akatsuki's attack. Kisame and others reported the information they knew, but because Akatsuki members remained mysterious. Therefore, what they know is extremely limited. Judging from various sources of intelligence, Akatsuki must have captured the 9-tailed beasts. Sooner or later Konoha will come. Therefore, all the ninjas in Konoha Village have entered the frenzy of practice and are ready to fight at any time. As for helping other shinobu villages survive the disaster or something, Konoha has no such idea at all. Unless they give generous rewards, they can make a fortune. Konoha Village, inside an exquisitely decorated barbecue restaurant. Senju Jangsang and Hinata sat opposite each other, eating hot and delicious yakiniku in the restaurant. Before you know it, Hinata has gradually grown open. From the time when I was a little lowly, I gradually developed a beautiful Oni-san, with a slender figure and long hair split across his shoulders. Have you heard that Gaara of Sanagakure has become 5th Kazekage? No, how old is he to become Fungying? No way, Sanagakure's position of Wind Shadow has been vacant for a long time. It can't be done without a leader. It is said that he is the Fungying who relied on his strong strength to become a Fungying. There has been a lot of hard work over the years. In the yakiniku restaurant, Senju Chongsheng listened to the voices of the people around him silently. The first battle of Chunan's exam hit Gaara very hard. Not only did he lose to Sasuke and became one-tail Shuhei, but Sasuke's brother gave him a tyrannical meal. So the extent of his hard work in the past few years is called hell. In order to be able to become more powerful, so as to wash away the shame. Speaking of 5th Kazekage, our 5th Hokage, I'm afraid it will soon be on the top 2. At this time, another voice sounded, and everyone's topic was brought back instantly. I also heard that it seems that Uchiha Itachi will become Hokage, and he is quite young too. Indeed, Uchiha Itachi vowed to the position of Hokage, and he has made too many contributions in the past few years. The Uchiha clan became Hokage. I am afraid it is not so good. It is said that they are all violent elements. Shush. Be quiet, don't you see who the person over there is? Who? Such a big official power, people are not allowed to talk about it. The mocking man turned his head in disdain, and when he saw Senju's face clearly, his body suddenly stiffened. Ah, this, Mr. Immortal. I seem to be cold. The surrounding commentators cast their gazes at the same time, looking a little embarrassed. Senju Chongsheng picked up a piece of barbecue and put it in his mouth, chewing slowly, ignoring the meaning of the people around him. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, but they dared not bring up the matter again in the next topic. Master, do you think brother can become 5th Hokage? Hinata, who was sitting opposite, had a gentle smile on his face, and gave Senju a piece of grilled meat and handed it over. Recently, Namikaze Minato said that for the sake of his family, he plans to step down as Hokage. Uchiha Itachi, however, stood out in this Hokage competition, leaving a big distance from other candidates. If you follow the normal process, Uchiha Itachi will become Hokage, it is already a certainty. Will become Hokage, he worked hard, Senju Chongsheng smiled and replied. The reason why Hinata asked this question was actually because Itachi came from the Uchiha family. The Konoha Village executives have a little bit of precaution against the Uchiha family. This family is very powerful, especially now that the three geniuses of Itachi, Shisui, and Sasuke exist. This makes Konoha pay more attention to the Uchiha clan. Such a powerful family, if anyone else becomes Hokage, it will definitely become a family stronger than the Senju family. Senju Chongsheng picked up the drink asterisk and beckoned to the waiter. Check out, leave. I'm going to another plane, your senior sister's side, it's up to you to help cover it. Senju Chongsheng smiled at Hinata, looking like you understand. I know, Hinata chuckled lightly. Just now, Senju Jangsang was eating barbecue and drinking water with the group members. Suddenly I received a help message from Yun Yun, saying that someone had prescribed medicine to her. According to Yun Yun's description, Senju Chongsheng instantly concluded that this person was Xiao Yan who concealed his name and appearance. With such a burst of news, everyone in the group began to swear. Senju was stunned for a while. Wasn't Yun Yun accidentally putting the aphrodisiac in the original work? Why has it now become Xiao Yan's medicine? Yun Yun. This guy is a thief. My cultivation was suppressed by the amethyst seal. In order to save this guy, I was seriously injured. Yun Yun. I thought this guy knew about the entubao, and he was here to help me watch the wind, and he even caught fish for me to eat. Yun Yun. How could he have thought that he actually put medicine in the grilled fish, and said that he accidentally put it wrong? Good guys. Senju Chongsheng saw this and called good guys. Accidentally misplaced. Xiao Yan practiced Yakushi, and he still had a medicine on him, so how could he misplace the aphrodisiac? Obviously, this guy did it on purpose. Is it because the original story has been revised, or is it that the aphrodisiac in the original is actually what Xiao Yan deliberately did? Senju Chongsheng murmured. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 113 Xiao Yan. I need to release, fight to break the world. Wearing a blue dress, Yun Yun is leaning against the big stone at this moment, breathing heavily, and exhaling fragrant wind. The long, slender, white legs are exposed because of the posture. Her delicate body exudes fiery heat, and her cheek is slightly reddishly delicate. At this moment, Yun Yun is urging the only remaining grudge, desperately suppressing the effect of the medicine in the body. Yun Yun. Mr. Immortal, please come here soon, I may not be able to hold it anymore. Yun Yun was very anxious in her heart, her consciousness gradually blurred. Once she loses consciousness, what will happen next is chilling. Don't worry, girl, I will prepare the antidote now, and you will hold on for a while. In front of Yun Yun, there was a man whose figure was covered by a black cloak. He was holding the medicine jar, tinkering with the herbs in it, looking very serious and hardworking. I don't know if he is figuring out the medicine or not, but after a long time of tinkering, he still doesn't get better. Even if he did come up with the medicine, Yun Yun didn't dare to take it, for fear that it would be the second aphrodisiac. Faced with this unfamiliar and obscure man, she did not dare to trust anymore. The best way right now is to wait for the rescue of the group members. Senju Chongsheng. I will go straight to you now, please be happy. Knowing that Yun Yun is in danger, Senju has no time to think so much. After he got home, he directly clicked on the group traversal function, and the target was Yun Yun. The journey begins. Come on, girl, my antidote is ready, you can take it quickly. The black-clothed man's eyes flickered slightly, and he walked with a bowl of pink liquid medicine. No, don't come over, just stand in place for me. Yun Yun's expression changed drastically when he heard that the other party was coming over. She wanted to get up and back down, but she couldn't exert any strength all over her body. Especially when she saw something wrong with the other person's eyes, she was terrified in her heart. Xiao Yan, what are you doing? Stop your behavior quickly. Yao Lao's voice came from the ring. As a master, he must sternly reprimand Xiao Yan for what he is doing now. When catching fish earlier, Xiao Yan said to make some seasoning, so he looked for some herbs nearby to make seasoning. Yao Lao didn't pay too much attention. Unexpectedly, when Xiao Yan picked herbs, he accidentally mixed a piece of other herbs in. I don't know if Xiao Yan has noticed it, just add a trace of aphrodisiac effect to the seasoning. Originally the problem is not big, most people only have a slight reaction even if they eat it. But Yun Yun's body is particularly sensitive, and a little bit of the aphrodisiac effect makes her whole body soft. That attractive appearance directly caused Xiao Yan, who had no evil thoughts, to think differently. He even used the seal quietly to shield the weak Yao Lao directly in the ring. The potion he is making right now is not an antidote, but a pure aphrodisiac. Because Yun Yun still retains consciousness, it is very detrimental to him, so he specially added an extra bowl. Not only can it maintain the efficacy of the medicine, but it can also make Yun Yun forget everything afterwards. I'm sorry, Master, you don't understand my needs. The boring and difficult road of revenge every day makes me very tired. I need to release. Furthermore, she is still the sect master of Yunlan, she is Nalan Yanran's master, and this is one of my revenges against her. Xiao Yan said fiercely inside, and at the same time increased the seal in the ring to prevent the teacher from coming out to stop it. I hope you won't regret it in the future. Yao Lao was very helpless, and his perception of the outside world was also blocked at this moment. His soul power is too weak. Although it can save his life if stored in the ring, his freedom is also limited. The only way for Xiao Yan to lose consciousness if this seal was to be unlocked. But obviously this is impossible. After the shielding drug was old, Xiao Yan felt extremely happy and excited in his heart. He walked slowly with the aphrodisiac, hiding his face under the black cloth, showing a wicked smile. Come on, do this bowl of antidote. Fuck, you told you to go away, you thief. Yun Yunchao blushed and hurriedly yelled out of fright. Xiao Yan's face was cold, and he was too lazy to pretend. Anyway, after taking this medicine to Yun Yun, she won't remember what happened just now. Fortunately, the showdown was overwhelming. Really toast and not eat fine wine, drink it, you will forget what happened just now. Xiao Yan pulled off the masked black cloth and smiled sensibly. I might as well tell you that I am Xiao Yan who has been with your apprentice for 3 years, and you are one of my revenges against her. Drink it for me obediently, no, do not want. Xiao Yan's expression turned sullen, and he quickly stepped forward. The liquid medicine in the bowl was spilling a few drops, exuding a rich fragrance. Does the overlord take the bow? How is this different from the rogue bandit? Just when Yun Yun was desperate and fearful, a gentleman's voice sounded. Who? Xiao Yan's heart slammed and turned back suddenly. I saw a casually dressed young man with a light smile on his face, walking towards him with a smile. Mr. Immortal, save me. Seeing the comer, Yun Yun's voice was filled with surprise. Sure enough, Mr. Immortal is reliable, and the critical moment has come. The sudden strange man made Xiao Yan suddenly panic. How did such a big person come here? Isn't this no man's land? Who are you? How could you be in such a place? Xiao Yan said with a gloomy expression. Upon hearing this, Senju smiled disdainfully and did not choose to answer. Immediately, with a fingertip, a vast aura surged out, hitting Xiao Yan head-on. Xiao Yan's eyes condensed, and his whole body burst out with anger, as if flames were steaming up all over his body. He took out the profound heavy ruler from the storage ring and waved a torrent of flames, like a god of fire. The flames are devouring the wave ruler. Huh? Xiao Yan let out a soft sigh, and stepped diagonally, and the Xuanzhong ruler slashed towards Senju Chongsheng with flames. In an instant, the collision between aura and grudge burst into shocking fluctuations. Xiao Yan only felt that a force that was difficult to contend had brought him directly out of the sky. Boom! With a loud noise, his body was directly set on the cliff wall, and the blood from his mouth suddenly spit out. How can it be? Xiao Yan felt unbelievable, and the anger from his opponent flew away. Is this person Do Huang, or even Do Zong strong? Does an ant-like existence have the qualifications to question the gods? Senju Chongsheng sneered, and his pupils burst into golden light without knowing it. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is a god. He is a god, and the power to control the heavens and the earth is indeed no different from a god. It's just that he seems a little cheeky when he speaks this kind of words. Thank you Mr. Immortal for his rescue. The blush on Yun Yun's face was always hard to fade due to the drug, and her whole body was hot and her white thighs rubbed involuntarily. Senju Chongsheng Zhenyi's face changed to a calm smile again. He walked slowly in front of Yun Yun, and the spirit of heaven and earth flowed to his fingertips and tapped on his white forehead. Ding! In an instant, the spiritual energy that penetrates the world poured into Yun Yun's body, spreading from his head to his heels. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 114 The rich spiritual energy washed the medicinal properties in Yun Yun's body over and over again, as if bathed in spiritual dew. Yeah, the feeling of comfort made Yun Yun couldn't help making a strange noise, and immediately she came back to her senses. The Rosie that had just disappeared from the delicate face appeared again. Senju Chongsheng's mouth twitched slightly, and if nothing had happened, he said, the medicinal properties have been washed away by me. What do you want to do with this guy? Hearing what he said, Yun Yun just remembered that there was a thief who hadn't dealt with him next to him. I'll deal with him. Yun Yun stretched her curvaceous posture a few times, then slowly stood up. She walked towards Xiao Yan with a cold face, and slapped her over without waiting for the other person to speak. Senju Chongsheng's aura flushing just now not only washed away the medicinal properties in her body, also helped her break the amethyst seal. This slap continued, but the real fighting emperor's strength. Puff, Xiao Yan, who was inlaid on the wall, was photographed by this palm, and his body directly drew a huge gully on the wall. The collision between his body and the rock left him with bruises and blood flowing all over. Yun Yun didn't seem to be relieved, but she was almost taken away by this thief. How could it be this? Just when she was about to make up a palm again, whether it was death or alive, it all depended on whether Xiao Yan's life was hard enough. A soul body floated out of Xiao Yan's ring. I also hope that my little friend will show mercy. This boy was also dazzled by his temporary desire. As his master, I will definitely educate him in the future. In order to protect Xiao Yan, Yao Lao had to reveal his identity and show his sincerity. What he said was to Yun Yun and also to Senju Chongsheng. Yao Lao has a very strong vision, knowing that Senju's longevity is terrifying, and this is definitely a powerhouse with the least fighting sage level. I was very horrified. When did such a young fighting saint appear in the Duki continent? HMPH, so you have been in his ring, so why don't you stop him? While speaking, Yun Yun's complexion grew colder and colder. Could it be that this old man has any special hobbies and likes to watch this kind of performance? Thinking of this, Yun Yun almost couldn't control herself, ready to slap this weak soul to death. Upon seeing the situation, Yao Lao quickly explained, "No, it's because I'm too weak. My disciple is obsessed with my heart," and sealed the old man in the ring. The old man was able to stop it, but there was nothing he could do. Fortunately, the appearance of this senior prevented the incident from happening. Oh, I blame the old man for not educating his disciples well. If I have the opportunity, I will definitely bring Mi Yao Chen to apologize and come here to make amends. After that, Yao Chen bowed deeply to Yun Yun and then to Senju Chongsheng. The attitude is extremely sincere. Seeing the other person in such a posture, the anger in Yun Yun's heart also disappeared a lot. But she looked at Senju Chongsheng and waited for the other person to make a decision for herself. This kind of trusting and somewhat dependent performance made Senju a little bit uncomprehending. Just about to speak, a system prompt sound suddenly appeared in my mind. This time the system prompt is the first time Senju has encountered it in so many years. Open black lens bracket ding. Trigger the cross knife to win the love sign. Congratulations to get the power of luck for the protagonist Xiao Yan. Close black lens bracket. What a god to win love. He was obviously here to save people, and Xiao Yan was arguing with the overlord, so why did he win his love? And what the hell is Hangdao grabbing love sign in? Although my heart is full of complaints, this sign in reward is really fragrant. With the power of luck, the probability of his future sign in rewards for good things will be greatly increased. At the same time, the training speed will become faster. An invisible force of luck floated from Xiao Yan to Senju Chongsheng. Through the true eyes of the evil king, it was a golden and pink air force. He felt that something invisible to him had become stronger. Having said that, Senju Chongsheng vaguely remembered. When I first got the sign-in system, my full name seemed to be called Fancy Sign-In. And there are countless check-in types, but so far, he has only triggered the plot check-in and the daily location check-in. Now this Hangdao wins love sign, as if opening a brand new door for him. If Yun Yun is willing to let him go, I don't have any problems. Senju Chongsheng, who had planned to do this forever, directly threw his sovereignty back to Yun Yun. Having taken Xiao Yan's luck, even if he was let go, he would never be able to make any waves anymore. Xiao Yan's ability to sing all the way, apart from Yao Lao's cheat, also has a lot to do with Qi luck. For example, news of different fires, various adventures and so on. These are all people who need luck and luck to meet. Otherwise, just like everyone else, you will never have access to this aspect of things for a lifetime. Even if you encounter it, the opportunity reward will not be too exaggerated and generous. Xiao Yan's future path, even if he became a strong man, would only have the rank of Do Huang or Do Zong. Do Huang and Do Zong are already the sect masters of the founding sect, so they should also be regarded as the powerhouses of one party, right? Then this time, forget it, but in the future, if I know that he has harmed other women, I will definitely go and kill them. Yun Yun snorted coldly and decided to give up the matter. The most important thing is that this soul body is very polite, which makes Yun Yun's anger a lot of it. Thank you for your great kindness. Yao Chen bowed gratefully again. Senju Jiangsang smiled politely and nodded. Try luck plus the sign in reward behind you. It just happens that I haven't signed in today. System. Sign in. Ding. Dupo World sign in is successful. Congratulations on getting. Golden Emperor Burning Heaven. Close black lens bracket. The Golden Emperor Burning Heaven? Isn't that on the heroine Xiao Zuner? The most precious thing in the world of fighting is the strange fire. The Golden Emperor Burning Tianyan is the 4th-ranked wood expulsion in the world of fighting. At the same time, this strange fire has always been on Xiao Zuner, the system sign in reward. Can it be taken directly from her? Thinking of this, Senju could not help but think of the spiritual gems he had before, and it seemed that it was also simple and rude to fly directly in front of him. Call out. Sure enough, when Senju was thinking about his life, a sound of breaking through the air hit the place directly. A delicate-looking girl stubbornly grasped the golden flame in her hand and fell from the sky, just falling onto Senju's longevity position. Huh? It doesn't matter if you sign in for the Golden Emperor burning Tianyan. Is there a gift for the girl? Senju Chongsheng raised his brows, and immediately stretched out his hands and smiled and caught the Golden Emperor burning Tianyan. As for the bonus girl, she fell directly to the ground. Of course, Senju Chongsheng is still a very gentle man at the moment when the other's ass is about to hit the ground. He supported the opponent's buttocks with an aura to avoid falling too badly. Senju Chongsheng knows who this girl is. It must be the ancient Zuner of the ancient clan, now under the pseudonym Xiao Zuner. The Golden Emperor burning Tianyan in his body suddenly flew out, and Xiao Zuner naturally wanted to take it back. As a result, this catch was taken by the Golden Emperor burning Tianyan all the way to this place. Where is this? Brother Xiao Yan. Xiao Zuner, who fell to the ground, looked around in confusion, and suddenly found a familiar figure lying on the ground, and suddenly exclaimed. Yao Lao and Yun Yun were also stunned by the scene in front of them. Is it a beautiful girl? Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 115. This girl, isn't Zuner from the Xiao family? Yao Lao recognized him, but he couldn't go up to recognize each other. After all, Xiao Zuner didn't know him. Instead, Yun Yun looked at Senju Chongsheng suspiciously with a strange look. She could feel that the arrival of this beautiful girl must be related to Mr. Immortal. Senior, what is the meaning of this, grabbing me a strange fire, and hurting my brother Xiao Yan? Do you think my Xiao family is so bullying? Xiao Zuner's face was frosty, her beautiful eyes burned with anger. But due to Senju's strength, she dare not speak too aggressively. Being able to rob the Golden Emperor burning Tianyan from such a distance is definitely a saint fighting method. Xiao Zuner kept guessing in her heart as to which old monster of the ancient family this person came from. The Xiao family? Are you not from the ancient clan? You actually call yourself the Xiao family, it's interesting. While Senju Chongsheng smiled faintly, he was playing with Jindi burning Tianyan in his hand. This group of golden flames directly bound his soul, and it felt a soft touch, just like touching a pet. When Xiao Zuner heard this, her complexion suddenly changed, and she was determined in her heart that this person was one of the 8 ancient tribes. Few people know his own identity, and the other party says it all. Since the predecessors know that I am a member of the ancient clan, why do they still seize me from the strange fire? Don't you know that the Golden Emperor burning the sky flame is the fire of my ancient clan's inheritance? Xiao Zuner asked tentatively, but also to delay time. With such a big event, the guards around her will inevitably pass the news to her father. Before long, her father will be here. Senju Chongsheng chuckled and didn't answer. Why did he explain to the other party what he signed in? A small ancient clan wanted to deter him, which was really ridiculous. HMPH, your brother Xiao Yan is a thief. He actually prescribed medicine to me, and you even treat him as a treasure. Seeing the silence in the scene, Yun Yun couldn't help humming to Xiao Zuner. Nonsense, how could my brother Xiao Yan treat you? The more Xiao Zuner said, the less confident she became. She suddenly remembered that Xiao Yan had stolen her when she was a child. Looking at Yun Yun's beautiful face and bumpy figure, what the other party said is really possible. In particular, Xiao Yan still has the vindictiveness that Yun Yun slapped on him, it can be imagined. Brother Xiao Yan probably wanted to be strong, but he failed and was beaten. Thinking of this, Xiao Zuner's face couldn't help turning pale. Her brother Xiao Yan actually did such a thing. That is, even so, I can't justify the deprivation of the Golden Emperor burning Tianyan by the predecessor, right? Xiao Zuner said sharply again. Xiao Yan's behavior is one thing, but it's another thing to seize the fire of the ancient clan inheritance. The two should not be confused. Okay, I'll take your Golden Emperor burning Tianyan. Go back and forth from wherever you go. It's impossible for me to return it to you. Senju Chongsheng waved his hand impatiently, preparing to say goodbye to Yun Yun. The journey to break through the world was very complete, and I directly took 2 sign-in rewards, and they were both very generous. It was a surprise. Boom! Suddenly, a figure fell from the sky with mighty momentum. Just like a heaven and a man descending to the earth, stepping on the void, surging vindictiveness will destroy all the surrounding cliffs. Fellow Taoist, robbing the fire of my clan heritage, do you really intend to give an explanation? The figure that descends is a middle-aged man. The 9-star Do Saint cultivation is crushed to Senju Chongsheng, patriarch of the ancient clan, Gu Yuan, at the same time Xiao Zuner's father. His strength was already at the pinnacle of the Do Chi continent, and he was only 1 step away from entering Do Emperor. Father, you are here. Xiao Zuner looked happy, and she successfully delayed her father's arrival. This time. Zuner, isn't it hurt? Gu Yuan looked at his daughter, his eyes soft. Xiao Zuner shook his head and said with a smile. I'm fine, but fortunately, father, you came in time. After that, she looked at Senju Chongsheng with beautiful eyes and smiled confidently. Senior, can I have a good talk now? Her father is the 9 stars fighting saint, and no matter how good this person is right now, he can't make any waves. Seeing the other person's pretending to be calm posture, Xiao Zuner especially wanted to laugh. Senju Chongsheng heard the words, still calmly said, "Talk? Is there anything to talk about? I accept your family's strange fire. Since this strange fire comes from your family, I won't hold you accountable for such rude things." Wow. When he said this, both Gu Yuan and Xiao Zuner were angry. Arrogant. Up to this moment, this person dares to be so arrogant. This is simply defiant. In any case, Gu Yuan is the pinnacle powerhouse in the mainland, and now he is actually belittled by the opponent. It seems that your excellency is a bit too blind and self-confident. In that case, let's fist and speak. Gu Yuan's indifferent voice sounded, and he no longer planned to talk to him. 100 miles of vindictive spirit condensed, and Gu Yuan punched it out, turning into a powerful hand of vindictiveness, covering the sky and the sun. A blow that destroys the world is like turning this area into dust. The strong man not far away looked startled at the same time, and retreated in a panic. Rumble. Suddenly, the monstrous might rolls the gravel upside down. Facing the power of Dusheng level, Yao Lao hurriedly hid in the ring, while Yun Yun quietly hid behind Senju Chongsheng. Mr. Immortal is her greatest shield. Senju's face was expressionless, and the truth-seeking ball condensed and flew in front of him to form a shield shape. Boom! The moment the grudge hand collided with the truth-seeking ball, a deafening roar resounded across the horizon. The collision of energy is like a nuclear bomb exploding, making this place devastated unsightly. A slight overflow of grudge can blast a large hole around. Gu Yuan frowned, his figure flickered, and he approached Senju Chongsheng. He punched again and used the ancient fighting skills, and the space was shattered at this moment. Boom! Gu Yuan's punch directly hit the truth-seeking ball, and the power of terror was like a blow from the emperor. Forcibly punched a crack on the truth-seeking ball, and the crack spread like a spider web. There was a loud bang. The pitch-black truth-seeking ball shield directly burst and opened, transforming into fairy power and dispersing, revealing the figures of Senju Chongsheng and Yunyun. "See what else you can do?" Gu Yuan sneered inwardly, and then struck out with another punch. In his opinion, this is Senju's arrogant capital, relying on a piece of defensive equipment. Under this punch, the opponent will be hit hard if he doesn't die. It is extremely ignorant to dare to be an enemy of the ancients. The surging fighting spirit condensed again, and Gu Yuan's aura also climbed to the extreme at this moment. But Senju Chongsheng, who was standing opposite, only slightly raised his hand to block. Boom! The palms of the fists collided, and a strong wave of air burst out, blowing everyone's clothes and hunting. The aftermath of the impact destroyed a piece of mountains and forests, powerful and terrifying. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 116 Senju Chongsheng readily took Gu Yuan's full blow, but the monstrous might did not cause him any harm. Gu Yuan's pupils suddenly shrank when he was caught by his fist, and his heart was shocked. How is it possible? Isn't this fuck the Emperor Do? He is the 9-star fighting saint. With a full blow, even if the opponent is also a 9-star fighting saint, it is absolutely impossible to lightly describe the next move. But in the Do-Chi continent, when did Do-Di be born? Even Xiao Zuner in the back was so shocked that he couldn't close his mouth, and made a chuckle in his heart. She feels a little uncomfortable. This guy is definitely a duty-level powerhouse, Yao Chen secretly said inwardly, hiding in the ring. Fortunately, his attitude was sincere and friendly before, and he didn't show the value of fighting respect, otherwise it would be cold now. Senju Zhongsheng's face was plain, and he didn't pay attention to him at all. Gu Yuan hurriedly drew out his fists, with cold sweat on his back, and took Xiao Zuner away without hesitation. At the same time, the heavenly fighting skills were invoked, and the surging fighting energy turned into 4 elephants in the air, galloping towards Senju for longevity. Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Suzaku, Xuanwu. The expressions are different, the momentum is majestic, and every detail of the lines is vivid. Roar! The 4 elephants roared and swept in with the force of destruction. Senju Chongsheng gave a faint smile, and blasted the void with a punch. The space is like broken glass, and the 4 sacred beasts burst open, turning into vindictiveness and dissipating. Gu Yuan also came to the side of Senju Chongsheng at this moment, and once again displayed his fighting skills. His face was extremely solemn, with sweat dripping on his forehead. The speed of punching this time is several times faster than last time. Behind his back he even used Do-Chi Wai to increase his speed, and the vast Do-Chi gathered all over his body to give the opponent a fatal blow. Boom! Senju Chongsheng raised his hand to block, and made a fist with 5 fingers in the other palm, and punched out casually. An indescribable force acted on Gu Yuan, blasting a wave of air and dust. Puff! Gu Yuan's eyes widened, blood was vomiting out of his mouth, and his figure suddenly flew upside down like a kite out of the line. After several consecutive bounces on the ground, the deep pit was blown up, and finally I got a buffer to fall to the ground. Gu Yuan adjusted his breath for a few seconds before climbing up from the ground with difficulty. After blooming vindictiveness caught Xiao Zuner, he immediately displayed the heavenly body fighting skills, turned and fled. This is still fucking, isn't it too strong? Gu Yuan didn't dare to stay any longer, he had already decided in his heart. The opponent is a fighting emperor walking on earth. Since you have chosen to shoot at me, you have to bear the consequences. I want to run as soon as I hit, there is no such good thing in the world. Gu Yuan was given a chance before, but he didn't know how to cherish it, and now he naturally has to bear the consequences. Suddenly, Senju's longevity aura exploded, and the power of controlling the heavens and the earth was suppressed by Gu Yuan. The sky was densely covered with dark clouds, the thunderlight flickered, and the thundering sound made the heart tremble. The surrounding space was in an instant controlled by Senju Chongsheng. Gu Yuan wanted to escape, but was caught by an invisible big hand, making it difficult for him to move. The body seemed to be imprisoned at this moment, even if it was a heaven-level physical skill fighting technique, it was unable to break free. What's the matter? What ability is this? Gu Yuan's eyes widened, the dark clouds in the sky formed a whirlpool shape, and thunder and lightning struck down. He hurriedly pushed his daughter away and took it alone. Rumble. Father. Xiao Zuner, who fell in the distance, screamed when she saw such a scene. I saw that Gu Yuan was located in the very center of thunder, and he was bombarded by waves of thunder and lightning, as if he had entered thunder purgatory. Gu Yuan's whole body was scorched by the thunder and lightning, the roots of his hair were erected, and the corners of his mouth were bleeding. Dosheng Peak's fighting spirit was like nothing, it couldn't withstand thunder's damage at all. Puff, 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 3 muffled noises were accompanied by 3 bloodlines splashing. Senju's long-term business intention controls the truth-seeking ball, turning it into a sharp arrow to pierce Gu Yuan's body. For the sake of being the strongest in the mainland, spare your life. Senju Chongsheng turned his fingertips, and the truth-seeking ball flew out, gradually dissipating during the flight. From today onwards, Golden Emperor Burning Tianyan belongs to me, but there are still objections? Senju Chongsheng said lightly. He didn't kill Gu Yuan, just wound him seriously. Senju Chongsheng is not a bloodthirsty person, and it is enough to teach him a lesson. Boom. Gu Yuan was heavy to the end, his skin was dry and cracked, blood flowed out from nowhere, and stained the soil red. Father. Xiao Zuner ran up crying, tears in her beautiful eyes. Previously, what the predecessors taught, Gu Yuan coughed twice, took the medicine Xiao Zuner put into his mouth, and asked with a hoarse voice. Dare to ask Senior, are you the strongest person? Duty. Are you joking? Even 10 duty, in front of Mr. Immortal, they can only be destroyed by a finger? Senju Chongsheng did not speak, but Yun Yun on the side responded with a cold voice. Gu Yuan and his daughter were shocked at the same time, wondering in their hearts but not daring to show them. Isn't the strongest person in the world the Emperor Do? Could there be a stronger existence? I'm leaving. As for the reward or something, no need. Senju Chongsheng's mood is very happy at the moment. The sign-in rewards this time are already very generous. Where is Yun Yun's compensation required? I really want to thank Mr. Immortal this time, but I still have to give the reward. I will find something valuable in the future and I will definitely offer it. Yun Yun said sternly, although Senju Chongsheng said that she didn't need it, but she felt that she still had to give it. This is a thank you, as it should be. Let's go, let's go. Senju Chongsheng didn't struggle with this issue, smiled and waved. Immediately clicked on the travel function, directly in front of everyone, traveled back to Konaha. Beatrice. What happened to Miss Yun Yun? Tony Stark. Mr. Immortal will go out, nothing will happen, don't worry about it. Yun Yun. Thank you again, Mr. Immortal, and thank you for your concern, I am fine. Portgas Dace. Are you okay? That's great. Senju Chongsheng. No thanks, it is right to help the group members. Jin Muyan. I have already woken up. Thank you Mr. Immortal for your help a few days ago for helping me create such a beautiful world. Thank you so much. Tony Stark. How many days ago? I have been in the past few weeks. Senju Chongsheng. Ha 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 ha. The flow of time is different. 3 years have passed on my side. Jin Muyan. I'm really sorry, this thankful sentence made Mr. Immortal wait so long. Senju Chongsheng. No problem, Ace Day. I am so envious that I can be saved by Mr. Immortal. Shiyu Shajichu. I'm going to college, and I can finally start developing my armor. Polygonum cuspidatum urine. Huh? Miss Shajichu is really fast over there, I'm still in high school even now. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 117 N Group Members Polygonum cuspidatum. By the way, Mr. Immortal, our teacher heard about your deeds. He is very interested in you and the chat group. Is there any way to let the teacher in too? Portgas Dace. There is no soliciting function in the group. My dad also said that he is very interested in the chat group. Seeing everyone's enthusiasm for the chat group, Senju couldn't help laughing. He also hopes to be able to bring people in, but the chat group does not have this feature. Maybe there will be it in the future, he doesn't know it himself. Although Senju Chongsheng is the owner of the 10,000 Realms chat group, The chat group is also obtained through the sign-in system. However, the rules and functions of this chat group are actually the sign-in system operating, and Senju Changsheng cannot intervene at all. Senju has no choice but to appease everyone. Wait for the future. He didn't dare to talk too much to the group members, for fear that he would expose the fact that he could not control the 10,000 Realms chat group. Ding! The activity of the 10,000 Realms chat group reaches LV4. Add the function of pulling people in the group, but the group owner and the invitee must agree to join. Ding! Zhang Jiwei joins the chat group. Ding! Bibi Dong joined the chat group. Ding! Limru Turnpest joins the chat group. Ding! Doryashi joins the chat group. Ding! Levi Ackerman joins the chat group. Ding! Yasuo joined the chat group. Ding! Zhenjiao Dagu joins the chat group, whatever you say. Senju can't help but thumbs up in silence. With the pulling function and a large number of new members have come, it is very lively now. Yun Yun. Welcome newcomers. Saitama. Ah, finally, there are newcomers. Is there anyone who is strong to fight with me? Tony Stark. Welcome to the 10,000 Worlds chat group. I am the richest Tony Stark in the group. Tanjiro Chiamon. Ahaha. Mr. Tony is so humorous. Newcomers are welcome. Izumi Sagiri. There is another newcomer. Does anyone want to read the book? Jin Muyan. Welcome. Newcomers ask for photos. Shiyu Shajichu. Welcome. Is there an ordinary person? I can help him. Zhenjiao Dagu. What's the matter? Does the transformation have sequelae? Zhang Jiwei. Am I always confused? Why'd I still have hallucinations? Yasuo. Limru Turnpest. The great sage analyze what's in my mind. Limru Turnpest. Huh? I made a mistake by accident, sorry. Bibi Dong. Is this a spirit ability? Ainzel Christine. Welcome newcomers, please check the group announcement about the situation in the group. There are videos of our power systems in each world in the group files. The originally deserted group suddenly became lively because of the newcomers. The familiar picture reminds the old group of how they looked when they joined the group. From the doubts at the beginning to the trust and dependence today. The process was very tortuous and even contradicted each other. Bone King, Acedes, and Tony once broke out due to conflicts. Senju Changsheng also had the idea of killing the opponent because of the danger of Kirajiing. Sao and Shajichu asked the group for help many times for the sake of immortality, which can be called kneeling and licking. Of course, in the end, everyone became close friends and helped each other. No matter what contradictions there were, they were resolved because of the subsequent getting along. Manyashi. So that's it, I probably understand, it's people from all over the world chatting together. Limru Turnpest. Other worlds, I know this. I didn't expect that I would have the opportunity to travel to other worlds. Menyashi and Limru are no strangers to other worlds. Both of them are traversers, and they are very quick to accept other worlds. Senju Changsheng remembered for a long time before finally remembering who Limru Turnpest was. Isn't this the Demon King Slime? This guy properly hangs up one? He is a reincarnated person who reincarnated into a slime after his death in a modern city. But it has 3 heaven-defying abilities, thus becoming the Demon King and creating the Demon Kingdom Federation. A predator who can capture the abilities of an opponent. Grandmaster the Great Sage of World Truth. Metamorphosis who split up new skills. With these 3 unique skills, he moved from a slime to the pinnacle of life. Another tricky guy, but the only thing to be assured is that he is more peaceful and has the most docile personality. Senju Changsheng squeezed his chin and muttered, then this Doryashi, if you guessed correctly, it should be the common rider passing by Emperor Decade. The Doryashi in the original book is to travel through various worlds to obtain common rider cards from that world. With a Knight card, he can transform into any common rider, very powerful. Although in the Heisei era, the official common rider was Shiwang. But in the eyes of other fans, the strongest should be Emperor Qi. Emperor Qi can transform into other common riders, and can even use the opponent's skills in all forms. Among the kings of time, Men Yashi got the card of King Shi. Logically speaking, as long as he activates the card, he can also become the king of the devil. Zhenjiao Dagu. Other worlds. It sounds mysterious, but these videos shock me. Zhang Jiwei. This thing is a bit brainstorming, but the power in the video is a bit scary. Yasuo. It suits me too well. Do any of you practice swordsmanship? Tanjiro Shaman. Of course there is, I practice swordsmanship, and the group master can also do swordsmanship. Levi Ackerman. See if you are powerful, can you help me kill the giants in this world? Polygonum Cuspidatum. Giant? It seems that this newcomer's world also has disasters, tell me in detail. Good fellow, not only will there be a common rider, but also an Ultraman. Senju Changsheng looked at Zhenjiao Dagu, this guy seems to be Tiga Ultraman's human body. Tiga was a mysterious giant in the ultra-ancient period, and he had too many secrets. He is the first Heisei Ultraman and the first Ultraman with the ability to transform form. The strength is very strong, the grip strength alone is between 30,000 to 100,000 tons. Ancient giant, and an attacking giant? This group of members is really interesting, and Tiga is not the only giant. Levi Ackerman's world is also a giant world. It's just that the giant in his world is not the Ultraman who saved the world, but the man-eating monster. Levi Ackerman is also known as the strongest human soldier. He not only has a strong fighting talent, but also works very hard. It is precisely because of the combination of the two that he has made his current achievements. Senju Chongsheng is looking forward to how strong the military commander will be with the help of the chat group. This person's pedigree is extremely excellent, even if he does not have the talent for cultivating immortals. He definitely has the talent for cultivating idols and jailbreakers. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 118 Pulling Function, Terrifying Zhang Jue. The remaining three people, Bibi Dong, Zhang Jue, and Yasuo. Senju Chongsheng is not too surprised, and can only be said to be quite satisfactory. Bibi Dong comes from the world of Duluo, and she doesn't know how old she is now, whether she has become the Pope of Wuvun Palace. If he has become the Pope, then Bibi Dong is very powerful now. For Bibi Dong, Senju Chongsheng does not think that the other party is a villain. She was just like other spirit masters, taking the spirit beast spirit ring. However, due to the ability of the soul beast to transform a human, a series of things happened between the protagonist and his father. Both the protagonist and his father are trying to protect their soul beast wife, and thus have a grudge with Wuvun Palace. From the protagonist's perspective, Wu Hundian naturally became the villain. In Zhang Jue's words, there are many people who call this name. But judging from the characters introduced through the 10,000 Realms chat group, this person must be a character in a certain work. He also called himself an old guy and didn't respond much to the power in the video. If you guessed correctly, you should be a celestial master under one person. The old celestial master is old, has experienced a lot, and at the same time has a calm mind. Naturally, he didn't respond much to these things, and his own strength was equally unfathomable. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is the ceiling strength of the alien world. In anger, he once went down the mountain alone, hitting all the masters in the world alone. No one can stop. The last Yasuo. Senju Chongsheng doesn't need to guess at all. Ronin, Hayate swordsman. Yasuo, from the mainland of Ionia, masters gusty swordsmanship, wandering around. Saitama. I want to know if anyone fought with me? Manyashi. I watched your battle. You're the bald head. Although I really want to learn from you, you are too strong. Kamen Yaji. I don't know if a night card can be formed in your world. Maybe I can transform into Kamen Rider Saitama to fight you. Saitama. Ah, that's a shame, I'm not a Kamen Rider. What about the others? Limrutran Pest. Ha ha ha. I prefer peace, Zhang Jue. The old man is also a peaceful thinker. Zhen Zhao Da Ji Yu. I also love peace very much, but it's a pity that this world is too monster, I have to fight. Yifan. So many peace-loving people. Yasuo. I need to be stronger before I can fight you. Yasuo. I hope I can go to your world and fight various weirdos. I wonder if the immortal in the group is allowed? Senju Chongsheng. Of course, do you want to go there now? Yasuo. Thank you very much. I can pass now. As a Ronin, I have long been used to wandering. It's really interesting, the speech is full of waves. Senju Chongsheng smiled and clicked on the function of passing through the group. Obtained the coordinates of Yasuo world and directly transmitted it to the Saitama world. A swordsman who fought all over the world in the name of wind, started his new journey. Polygonum cuspidatum yohito. There is a pull function in the group. Can I bring my teacher in? Doryashi. The function of pulling people? There is a demon on my side blowing, and it happens to be pulled in to cure. Saitama. It can actually pull people. It seems that the chat group will be very lively in the future. Ha, Mr. Yasuo is here. Portgas Dace. Is there finally a pull function? I just talked about this issue before. Portgas Dace. At Senju Zhongsheng, can I bring my dad in? Limrutran Pest. The excitement is good, I like the excitement the most. Yasuo. The path of the strong is often lonely. Ding. Yasuo uploaded the storm sword technique. Ding. Yasuo downloaded breath of water. Yasuo. I didn't expect to be able to switch to a swordsmanship. Although I took the path of the wind, my wind has come to an end. Yasuo. Let me take a look at how strong swordsmanship is in other worlds. Wind and water? Is feng shui swordsmanship? Senju Zhongsheng got a little strange in his heart, and immediately began to respond to the group members' messages. Senju Chongsheng. You can pull people in, but don't pull too many people in, and don't be treacherous people. Senju Chongsheng. Ace's father and Yuan's teacher are okay, you can come in. Senju Jiangsang. But who is the demon king you said? Doryashi. Oh, a guy named Waz, is not a bad person, but a little arrogant, all day long said that his master is the king of time, let us celebrate. Doryashi. I plan to let him come in to see what is really strong. Waz? Is it possible that Men Yashi has gone to the world of Shiwang? Senju Chongsheng was a bit stunned. He thought that Men Yashi was on his plotline, but he had already run his plot. If this is the case, the current Kamen Yaji might have gathered all the common rider cards of the Heisei era. Having said that, Woz is indeed not bad. Although Ishin supported Shi Wang to become a demon, that thing was nothing more than a task for him. Senju Chongsheng. Alright, but the character you pull in, you have to control him if you do something. Doriyashi. Oh, I probably understand, don't worry. Portgas D-Ace. Great, I can finally bring Daddy into the group. Polygonum Cuspidatum. I'm going to find my teacher now, he can't wait a long time. Saitama. Ha ha ha, I can't wait, the last time I saw your teacher fighting, it was very powerful. Polygonum Cuspidatum. Don't worry, I will pull him in now. By the way, how do I pull people? Senju Chongsheng. There is an invitation function in the group. After you click, select the person in front of you, and then the other party agrees. Ding. Zhang Jiwei uploaded Palm Thunder. Ding. Zhang Jiwei uploaded the Golden Light Curse. Ding. Zhang Jiwei uploaded the Jingxin Magic Curse. Ding. Zhang Jiwei downloaded Flowing Water Broken Rock Fist. Ding. Zhang Jiwei downloaded the first volume of Immortal Longevity Gong. One person under the world, Dragon Tiger Mountain. Zhang Jiwei sat indoors alone, new boxing and exercises flooded into his mind, and his heart was shocked. I didn't expect it to be true, Immortal. It seems that Long Hashan's future can be guarded for a longer period of time. A kind smile appeared on Zhang Jiwei's old face. Although he is old, he is not an antique, it is still very clear what a chat group is. What he didn't expect was that the exercises and boxing techniques in the group were so powerful. This is a great opportunity for a warrior. Zhang Jiwei meditated cross-legged and began to practice the first volume of Immortal Longevity Gong. This sitting is one day. For him, a lot of boring practice has become commonplace. But the fluctuations in his body were not normal at all. If Senju Chongsheng's paintings are here, he will definitely be amazed. Zhang Jiwei's cultivation speed is really amazing. Perhaps it was because he had the cultivation base himself, and it was also related to the strong spiritual energy of heaven and earth here. As a result, Zhang Jiwei reached the 10th level of qi condensing in one day. It's a little easier. Is it because I have practiced the exercises myself? Zhang Jiwei smiled, and immediately clicked on the information in the group, and chose to download the second volume of the Undead Longevity Technique. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 119 The Golden Light Curse is the use of qi? Ding. Zhang Jiwei uploaded Yang Wulei. Ding. Zhang Jiwei downloaded the second volume of Immortal Longevity Gong. Tanjiro Chiaoman. Why did Mr. Zhang directly download the second volume? Doesn't it mean that all the points he got have been replaced? Polygonum Cuspidatum Urine. Is it possible that the old man has finished the first volume of cultivation? How long is this? I just found a teacher. Yifan. Maybe the time flow is different. How long has Elder Zhang passed? Zhang Jiwei chuckled twice and responded, it's been a day and a night. Tony Stark. Hiss. This is a little scary, Jin Muyan. It seems that Elder Zhang is not easy to cultivate talent. Zhang Jiwei. I'm overwhelmed. It's just that the old man already has his own cultivation skills, so he will be quicker. In the face of everyone's flattery, Zhang Jiwei has no pride. It's the humility from the heart, not arrogant or impetuous. He deserves to be an old celestial master of the Dragon Tiger Mountain Celestial Master's Mansion, and his mentality is inseparable to achieve such an achievement. Ding. Portgas D-Ace invited Edward Newgate to join. Do you agree? Ding. Polygonum Cuspidatum has invited Gojo Satoru to join. Do you agree? Ding. Men Yashi invited Woz to join. Do you agree? Only Senju Chongsheng could see these three pieces of news, and he directly agreed to them. Ding. Edward Newgate joins the chat group. Ding. Gojo Satoru joins the chat group. Ding. Woz joins the chat group. Jin Muyan, welcome 3. Shiyu Shajichu. Welcome, Gojo Satoru. Hello, everyone. Edward Newgate. Hula la la la, turn my son into this group is, really amazing Woz. Is this the group of strong men mentioned by Menyashi? Manyashi. You can look at the video files in the group. Time King World. Doriyashi sat next to Woz, looking at Takiwa Shogo and Woz with a faint smile. Are you winking? Takiwa Zhuanggo blinked and asked curiously. He felt that the expressions in the eyes of these two people seemed to convey something, which was very wrong. Nothing. Manyashi replied casually, tidying up his clothes. It's just something interesting. Woz, who was sitting opposite, had already opened the group video at the moment, watching the devastating power in the video. His expression of disdain from the beginning gradually turned into shock and sluggishness. The strong in other worlds, there is no common rider, but still possesses such a powerful force. How is this done? Woz was shocked, and quickly opened the book that records world history in his hand. In his cognition, it is impossible for human beings to possess powerful power if they do not change their bodies. It has changed. History has changed. How is this possible? His Majesty the Demon King was not born, and the future has become a blank. You made the ghost? Waz suddenly got up to look at the door Yashi, and his excitement caused the stools to fall to the ground. Ooh! What's the matter with you, Waz? Takiwa Shogo exclaimed and hurriedly raised the stool that fell on the ground. But Waz did not pay attention to His Majesty the Demon King. He walked quickly to the front of the door, and reached out to grab the door. In the end, he was retreated by the opponent's agility and easily escaped. Mon Yashi combed his wrinkled clothes with a calm face, and grinned lightly. It's none of my business, I just let you see more things. Don't you think that Mr. Immortal in the group can better be called the king? Door Yashi smiled, then turned around and walked into the blur. Just disappeared in front of the two. Waz. What are you talking about? What history, what Mr. Immortal? Takiwa Shogo was at a loss. Obviously, I can understand each word separately, but after connecting it, I don't know what it means at all. Waz, who was asked, sat back in the chair with a heavy face, not knowing what he was thinking. In the Hokage world, Senju Chongsheng left the chat group after agreeing to join the newcomer. He downloaded Yasuo's Storm Sword technique and also downloaded Zhang Juwei's upload ability. The abilities that Zhang Juwei uploaded are not simple. It looks like the martial arts of the low martial arts world, but it contains unlimited potential. This means that the upper limit of these martial arts is extremely high, and they can exert different effects in the hands of different people. Palm Thunder is a bit like Chidori or Reikiri, and the damage is similar, except that Jian is omitted. Looking at the thunder shining from his palm, Senju didn't have much surprise for it. It's the Golden Light Curse, which has a taste of body-protecting techniques, but it also has an anti-injury effect. It is a technique that can be focused on cultivation. There are also 5 thunderbolts that are not bad. The lightning level is several grades stronger than the lightning style condensed by chakra. As for the last Pure Heart Curse, this is a spell used to break the Heart Demon, and it is generally not used. It's been a long time since I practiced swordsmanship, so I can just warm up with the wind swordsmanship. Senju Zhongsheng smiled and took out the black sword Shusui, and performed the wind swordsmanship in the yard. Every time it was slashed, the wind whistled out, and the branches and leaves in the yard moved with the wind. Senju Chongsheng feels that he has turned into the wind, and his body is light and fluttering. The black knife Chusui in his hand seems to have become the wind at this moment. Hoo-hoo-hoo, the breeze blew by, faintly sharp, and scratched small traces on the wall. It seems to be the wind, but in fact it is swept by the sword energy. This is also because of the effect of Senju's strong suppression in his yard. If it is thrown outside, a single blow will destroy the world. This sword is good, it is vaguely above the sword moves of Sun's Breath. Senju Chongsheng gave a high evaluation without maroon. This fast wind swordsmanship is quite extraordinary. Its sword moves incorporate natural wind elements, and each move is controlling the natural wind. This is already one of the powers of manipulating heaven and earth. Only after Kendo reaches the highest state can you understand it. For several days, Senju Chongsheng was immersed in practice. The more you practice, the more you feel. The potential of the Golden Light Curse was even greater than he had imagined. After experimentation, it was discovered that the Golden Light Curse seems to be a qigong. It is not only passive defense and anti-injury. When it reaches a certain level, it can be turned into a gas bomb to actively attack. The effect is exactly the same as the use of qi in the Dragon Ball world. Is this the embryonic form of qi in the Dragon Ball world, or is this the way to use qi? The orange-gold light lingers around her body, and Senju looks at the rotating gas in an incredible way. His whole body attributes have been strengthened at this moment. The flow of these qi is like manipulating a truth-seeking ball, extremely smooth and natural. And this energy can be continuously strengthened, as long as Senju keeps practicing forever. Even if you don't cultivate immortality, you don't practice physical skills, you can continue to grow stronger. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 120. During Senju's longevity practice, the chat group was full of enthusiasm. Someone continuously uploads new skills and otherworld unique things. Like Limru, he uploaded a lot of equipment and potions, all of which were manufactured through his own plugins. And what he always changed was naturally the necromantic magic and dark magic in the group. Commander Levi also uploaded a 3-dimensional mobile device and how to use it. After all these things, most group members don't need it. However, he can only do so for the sake of the idols to restrain the prison. Only Kasumigoka and Tony downloaded the 3-dimensional mobile device, and they thought the idea of this device was very novel. Used in other areas, there will be miraculous effects. Senju breathed a long sigh of relief, withdrew the golden light curse from him, and said lightly, "Is there something you want to report to me?" There was no one around him, as if talking to himself. But the next moment, Kisami's figure suddenly appeared in front of him. Kneeling down on one knee. "Report Mr. Immortal," someone from Senagakure asked for support, saying that their 5th Kazekage had been arrested. Feng Ying. Gara, if they can give a satisfactory reward, naturally they can. 3 years ago, Senagakure was defeated, and he compensated Konaha for a large amount of resources. If it's not a last resort, they don't want to ask Konaha for help. Not to mention that the face will be ugly. Just for this reward, I am afraid that he will have to bleed again. The reason why Konoha would inform Senju Jangsang is also uncertain about his attitude towards Senagakure. If Senju says no, Konoha can only refuse Senagakure. Judging from the current situation, the reward given by the other party is still very generous, almost the limit of Senagakure, Kisame said. In that case, let Itachi go to rescue Gaara. Yes, I will report now. Senju Chongsheng walked back to the tea room and made tea leisurely. He specifically asked Itachi to go to the rescue, not for the task to be successfully completed, but to help Itachi rush to the position of Hokage in one fell swoop. Now Uchiha Itachi has only one chance to become Hokage. The task of rescuing Fungying right now is the best opportunity. Only Uchiha Itachi can take action on Akatsuki's organization to dispel Konoha's high-level guard against him. What? Let Uchiha Itachi take over this task? Impossible. In the Konoha high-level meeting, a high-level executive directly vetoed the table. Uchiha Itachi has been an undercover agent in Akatsuki for many years, and no one knows whether he has become a double undercover agent. Let him deal with the Shao organization. How can Konoha's senior executives dare to rest assured? This was instructed by Mr. Immortal himself. Kisame replied blankly. Mr. Immortal, Mr. Immortal, Mr. Immortal all day long, does he really regard himself as the leader of Konoha? The high-level Konoha who shot the table angrily said, you know, Minato is the Hokage of Konoha Village, and he is our leader. And you used to be a member of Akatsuki's organization. You are more likely to be an undercover than Uchiha Itachi. You are not qualified to speak. The senior man pointed his finger at Kisame and yelled, I really don't understand what Mr. Immortal thinks, so you guys will stay in the village. This person's anger is obviously an explosion that has accumulated for a long time. There are dissatisfaction with Senju Zhongsheng's domineering behavior, and there are also full doubts about the people who organized Weishao. Namikaze Minato, who was sitting on the side, was embarrassed and understood the inner thoughts of his senior. To be honest, the Hokage of Namikaze Minato now seems to be the highest leader of Konoha. But in fact, he always stands under Senju's longevity, whether it is prestige, popular support or strength. Namikaze Minato has a very good personality and doesn't care about these, but it doesn't mean that others will not care. This is the so-called emperor is not anxious and eunuchs are anxious. Well, Mr. Immortal is the god who protects Konoha. Just talk about what you just said here, but don't send your temper to Mr. Immortal. Namikaze Minato looked at the high-level man and said seriously, otherwise, no one can save you. As soon as he said this, the high-level face changed, and finally came back to his senses. He was a little gaff. It's okay if the other party doesn't care about it, in case, no one in the village can save his life. With Senju's longevity strength, there is really no one who wants to kill one person. I'm so sorry, the high-level manager whispered with sweat on his forehead. Just follow what Mr. Immortal said. Kisame, you go and inform Uchiha Itachi, let him prepare, and immediately set off for Senagakure. Namikaze Minato smiled gently again and agreed to Senju's proposal. Use all the things I have taught you to show your true strength to the Shao organization. There is no need to hide and keep a low profile. This is what Senju Jangsang said to Uchiha Itachi before he left Konoha. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi has come to Senagakure and met the ninjas who met him. This time, he was alone, without any companions. Senagakure's ninjas learned that they had paid so much, but Konoha sent only one ninja to support them, which really angered them. Hurry up and lead the way, I don't have time to waste with you. Facing Senagakure's yin and yang weird words, Uchiha Itachi had no expression on his face and responded coldly. For a while, everyone glared at Uchiha Itachi and even prepared to turn their faces. This person's attitude is really too arrogant. Really think of Senagakure as a handy ant? Don't worry, everyone, since Konoha will send him alone, there must be something extraordinary. Let the old man lead the way for him. At this time, the mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations walked slowly. Itachi just glanced at her and said nothing. It shouldn't be too late, let's go now. I hope you can keep up with the speed of the old man, otherwise I can only ask Konoha to send some more people. The 1,000-generation mother-in-law sneered, and then the puppet was released from the chakra scroll, but the old figure fell on the puppet with great agility. This is a flying puppet, capable of flying high in the sky with Chio. Call out. In an instant, the 1,000-generation mother-in-law stepped on the puppet and rose into the air, disappearing from everyone's field of vision in a blink of an eye. Sand shinobi were about to sneer Uchiha Itachi, only to find that the other party had disappeared from the same place somehow. The 1,000-generation mother-in-law stepped on the puppet and flew fast as a phantom. She was hesitant to turn around and go back directly. Anyway, I have already given the other party a prestige, and then letting more people from the Konoha faction come over is not too much, right? As a result, this thought just flashed, and a dark shadow suddenly appeared next to him, flying side by side with him. At a glance, it is Uchiha Itachi. You, how can you fly in the air without the help of any ninjutsu? Chio was horrified. Naturally, the ferret with the core formation is able to fly. In the realm of pill formation, the aura in the body is like a vast ocean. How can it be impossible to fly? Itachi's eyes were still flat, and he ignored the other party. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 121 Art is to send a big star. Itachi's cold performance made Chio a little embarrassed. Both of them flew silently the next way. Over the lush woods, the two of them swiftly passed by and the strong wind swayed the branches below. When the two were approaching Gaara's position, Uchiha Itachi stopped in vain. Right in front of the two of them, a giant white bird appeared. Wearing a red cloud and black robe, Deidara crossed his arms and smiled arrogantly. Long time no see, Itachi. I will definitely defeat you this time. Deidara, who had been defeated by Itachi several times, finally found a chance to take revenge. You organization traitor, come and taste my art. Detonate clay giant bird. Deidara gave a violent shout and jumped off the white giant bird's back. A new detonating clay vehicle, shaped like a two-winged bird, lifted his body into the air again. He laughed, as if he saw the outline of art in his mind. And the giant bird in flight was chasing it head-on. Once hit, it will explode no matter what the explosion wave. Deidara's detonating clay power is comparable to the explosion of a nuclear bomb and should not be underestimated. But Itachi, who had beaten the opponent many times, saw Deidara's usual method and couldn't help sneering inwardly. He who used to hide his strength can easily defeat Deidara. Not to mention that the firepower is now fully on. The boring art, the real battle, will always be simple and neat. Once the weasel seal was knotted, the whole body turned into a black crow and scattered. Drink. Deidara made a sigh of relief with both hands. Rumble. When the giant bird collided with the crow, a loud roar erupted in the air, and flames filled the sky. The mother-in-law of Chiandai hurriedly manipulated the puppet to move away, and was almost injured by the blast wave. When Itachi's figure reappeared, he had suddenly come behind Deidara. A shuriken pierced directly into Deidara's heart, and the strange thing was that the opponent did not shed any blood. Deidara looked back and smiled, sticking out her tongue and making a grimace. You lied to you, die for me. Detonate clay, stand in, drink. Rumble. The biplane and Deidara turned into detonating clay bombs at the same time, and the horrible explosion waves sounded one after another. Standing in the woods below, Deidara's real body had a frantic laughter on her face. Ha 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 ha, I guessed you would use body flicker technique to get behind me. Did you see it, Itachi? This is the gift I prepared for you, is it irritating? He spread his arms, his eyes gleamed, and he was quite satisfied with his artwork. I saw it, but I have no idea of appreciation. At this moment, Itachi's cold voice suddenly sounded behind Deidara. Deidara's smile suddenly stiffened, and she turned her head in amazement. You, when are you? He didn't even see that the other party had Jian. When did he come here? Is it just a clone that was blown up just now? Itachi's face was flat and it was naturally impossible to answer his words. Is it possible to say directly, I predicted your prediction? Asshole, what can you do even so, die to the Lord. Deidara slammed a knot in secret, and suddenly reached out and grabbed Itachi's neck, with a sick smile on her face. You're done. Ha, 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 suddenly, the picture before him changed in vain. The blue sky was covered with scarlet, and the grass under my feet was flooded with blood. The sky full of black crows rose into the sky, passing over Deidara. His complexion changed drastically, and when he recovered, he had been tied to a cross. Hitomi Tsukuyomi. Damn it, Mangekyo Sharingan. Why didn't I see you turn on Mangekyo? How did you do it? Deidara struggled. The moment you looked at each other with me, I planted the pupil technique. Uchiha Itachi said calmly, voices coming from all directions. Taking a closer look, all the people standing around are Uchiha Itachi with long swords in their hands. At the moment Deidara looked back, Mangekyo Sharingan flashed past Itachi's eyes. Tsukuyomi was launched. Who said that the opening of Mangekyo Sharingan must have a slow-motion close-up? In real battles, Sharingan often turns in an instant, and the illusion has been planted into the enemy's mind in a single thought. This is the horror of the Uchiha clan. Pouch. The first knife stabbed Deidara's body, and the second knife followed closely. A knife fell, cutting Deidara's flesh and blood. The blood flowed down the cross and merged with the blood below. Deidara screamed in pain. No matter how many knives he was chopped and how much meat he had cut, he still couldn't die. This kind of pain that is worse than death caused him to gradually collapse. He didn't know how long he had spent in it, and his body stabbed his nerves over and over again. In the outside world, it's just an instant, puff. Deidara woke up, pale, and blood spewed out of her mouth. He covered his heart, breathing continuously in his mouth. Hey ha 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 ha, vomit. Deidara smiled like a neurotic, suddenly took the explosive clay out of her pocket and put it in her mouth to chew. Eating and vomiting a lot of clay spiders. In front of Itachi, a giant Deidara quickly formed. C4 Garuda. This is the ninjutsu he invented to kill Itachi. After the explosion, the clay spider, which is invisible to the naked eye, will be scattered into the air. Once inhaled into the body, the cells of the whole body will be destroyed by the bomb. Unexpectedly, I am still conscious, your end is here, Uchiha Itachi. As Deidara shouted loudly, she opened her clothes, revealing the weird mouth on her chest. Boom. 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 The giant Deidara walked towards Uchiha Itachi, every step of which made the earth tremble. In vain, the giant Deidara swelled without any explosive fluctuations. The detonating clay was all turned into nanometers and scattered in the air. At the same time, Deidara used the last remaining consciousness. Grab the explosive clay and stuff it into the mouth on the chest. His whole body began to become transparent, and chakra condensed into a black sphere. If Senju was born here, he would definitely be able to recognize that Deidara was about to blow himself up. Not only the invisible nanobombs like C4 Garuda, but also Deidara's own nuclear bomb erupted. From start to finish, it can be described as a lore. Deidara's hostility to Itachi has reached the pervert level. Be cruel to the enemy, and cruel to yourself. The small animals around, destroyed by the nanobomb, began to turn into dust and dissipate. Silent killing, the 1,000-generation mother-in-law in the distance was frightened. Deidara's pupils gradually collapsed, and as she fell, she shouted loudly. Taste the art of explosion together, rumble. The loud hum is deafening, and the hot energy is like a wave sweeping out. Under the threat of these two kinds of bombs, the forests in a radius of hundreds of miles disappeared in an instant. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 122. Rumble. The heat wave swept across, the light shrouded. The mountains, rivers and forests were all wiped out by the explosion, and the lives were wiped out. The 1,000-generation mother-in-law who was driving the flying puppet was directly hit by the explosion and fell off the puppet. As for Uchiha Itachi, the whole person is at the center of the explosion. Life and death are unknown. What a terrifying explosion. This explosion can blow up 3 Senagakure, right? The mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations staggered to the ground, palpitatingly looking at the big pit and thick smoke in the distance. The guy from Konaha, I'm afraid he has already died. After all, did you pay the price for arrogance? I don't know if this child's death will anger Konaha and send more people. Or is it possible to swindle Senagakure again? When the mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations was overcast and sunny, the smoke and dust in the big pit also dispersed. What caught my eye was a dark figure. Chiyo subconsciously believes that the other party should have been blown to black and gray. The reason why he can still stand there is probably because of his physical skills. Huh? No. Chiyo watched intently and found that something was not quite right. The next moment, Uchiha Itachi, who was standing in his position, moved. I saw him slowly lowering his arm. His body was dark and seemed unusually shiny. Call. It was armament Haki that the pitch black seemed to disperse the coating. Whether it's a nanobomb or Deidara's blew up, all were resisted by Itachi's armament Haki. For armament Haki, cultivation conditions do not require talent, but perseverance and persistence. Itachi has no talent for cultivating immortals, but he has the perseverance to become stronger. His armament Haki has already reached the top level. Even the attack of truth-seeking ball can collide with it a few times. After leaving Haki, Uchiha Itachi stood there intact and said lightly, Art? I don't think it, but I respect your pursuit of art. Dedicated to art, using oneself as a bomb, this heart is quite admirable. After that, Uchiha Itachi turned around slowly, looking at the 1,000-generation mother-in-law in the distance, and his eyes beckoned. Only then did Chiyo come back to his senses. In addition to the horror in his eyes, there was also a trace of fear. This guy. What the hell is going on? I am afraid that this level of strength is already comparable to Hokage. The mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations brought out the flying puppet again, her old palm trembling slightly. I don't know if it's because of excitement or fear. Konoha Village, Senju's longevity home. At this time, Senju Chongsheng was lying comfortably on the chair, with strange brilliance blooming in his eyes, as if playing a slideshow. Not bad, just neat, Senju Chongsheng muttered to the air. Even if he faces a defeated opponent, he doesn't have any contempt. Use Tsukuyomi to weaken the opponent, a wise choice. Although he is in Konoha, he can see the situation on Uchiha Itachi. This is actually just a little detection ninjutsu, the reason why he ran to talk to him before Itachi left. In fact, it was for the next ninjutsu mark in Itachi's eyes. Senju has been living in Konoha for so many years. There are countless kinds of ninjutsu in the daily sign-in. There are those that have appeared in the original works, and there are many ninjutsus that have never even been heard. There are combat types, detection types, medical types, and even life types. For example, ninjutsu like fireworks, ninjutsu for lighting, ninjutsu for juggling, etc. It can be said to have everything. What Senju Jonsei planted on Itachi's pupils was exploration ninjutsu. Take the ferret as a carrier to observe the world. In this ninjutsu, Senju Chongsheng specially added aura to form a sage art. Even Mangekyo Sharingan's Itachi could not perceive it. Speaking of Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan, Senju Chongsheng was particularly surprised. Now his eyes are not the eternal Mangekyo, but they are no different from the eternal Mangekyo. Mangekyo Sharingan will go blind if it is used too much, but eternal Mangekyo will not. But because Itachi cultivates the undead longevity Kungfu, he can recover from his injuries all the time, including his eyes. As long as it is not born with eye disease, any injury can be recovered. This led to the fact that no matter how many times Mangekyo Sharingan was used by Itachi, it would be repaired by the undead longevity gong. So eternity is not eternal, and it makes no difference to Itachi. Even Itachi himself didn't know that if he used too much Mangekyo Sharingan, he would actually be blind. I thought it was just a temporary side effect, and it would recover after a while. Huh? Are you going to be late in the end? Senju Chongsheng suddenly murmured in surprise, but his heart did not fluctuate much. Uchiha Itachi and the mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations have arrived outside the cave and broke the seal here. Gaara lay weakly on the ground and fell into a coma. A puppet squatted next to him, turned his head slightly, and immediately appeared outside. Sasori didn't dare to collide with Itachi, he knew the strength of Itachi very well. Now Sasori doesn't want to expose himself, it's better to hide it. Chiyo looked anxiously and ran to Gaara, performing medical treatments, not in the mood to chase the enemy. Gaara in the original book is completely dead at the moment, but now it seems that Chiyo and Itachi came earlier. So Gaara had one last breath, and the 1,000-generation mother-in-law sweat on her forehead and tried her best to treat her. Uchiha Itachi glanced at Sasori who had fled, but did not make a chase. His task is to rescue Gaara, not to help recover the tail beast. The loss of Tsunagakure's one tail has nothing to do with him. My task has been completed, and I can escort you back due to Tsunagakure's good pay. Itachi's voice is still so cold and unforgiving. After treatment for a long time, the mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations looked tired, and she sighed in relief and bowed slightly to Itachi. Thank you, Mr. Itachi. Itachi's mission was successfully completed, and Gaara was successfully rescued. But Tsunagakure's one tail was also lost. Senju also didn't care about Itachi not chasing Sasori. What if an ant ran away? Next time you show up in front of him, just pinch it to death. Senju Chongsheng retracted his ninjutsu and once again boarded the 10,000 Realms chat group. When he saw the files in the group, he couldn't help feeling dumbfounded. Senju Chongsheng is very greedy with the dazzling array of equipment and skills, and I can't wait to download it right away. Zhang Jiwei seemed to be crazy, uploading a large number of magic techniques and martial arts. The ghost knows what he did, and he has collected so many martial arts uploads. And Bone King and the Seeds actually uploaded Tigu. Senju Chongsheng found out after turning over the information in the group that the revolutionary army had already entered the imperial capital. I thought that victory was imminent, and a brand new revolution was about to succeed. Unexpectedly, it is actually Longtan Tiger Den. All members of the revolutionary army should not be caught in the dungeon. The Seeds also posted a picture of the prison in the group. Tony looked at it and called out distressed. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 123 Tony Stark. I said a Seeds, you actually shut so many beautiful girls in a dirty little black room? A Seeds. Huh? Do you have any opinion? Tony Stark. Hey, it seems that you haven't been taught enough. It just happens that my armor has improved again. Let's compare it. Tanjiro Shaman. Well, forget it, Mr. Tony, don't get excited. Yifan. Tony's words seem to be a bit contradictory. A Seeds is also very beautiful, but Tony seemed to be beaten at first but mercilessly. Polygonum cuspidatum. Oh, it seems that this is the case. Why is Mr. Tony suddenly becoming so enthusiastic about girls now? Tony Stark. Tony Stark. Can a pervert like a Seeds really be regarded as a girl? Edward Newgate. Hula lala, Mr. Tony is really humorous. Shajichu Shiyu. Mr. Tony is not in love, right? So he is particularly concerned about women. Is the former playboy gone forever? Tony Stark. It seemed that Shajiju had said it. Tony fell silent for a moment without refuting it. Senju Chongsheng couldn't help laughing when he saw this. According to the flow of time, Pepper should be pregnant, and Tony is about to become a father. This is a change of mood, unconsciously. Bibi Dong. Does love affect people a lot? Tanjiro Chiamon. I heard Mr. Immortal say that it will affect the strength, so I have never paid attention to this aspect. Gojo Satoru. I don't know, and I didn't pay attention to this aspect. Saitama. Huh? What is love? I just want to fight the strong. Yasuo. The road to the strong is lonely. Only by walking alone can you become stronger. Ainzel Christine. My energy is used to rule the world. Edward Newgate. Hula la la la. I don't have a wife, but I have many sons. Hula la la. Hiss. Seeing this, Bibi Dong and Duluo World suddenly fell into silence. The people who spoke in the group were all super bosses. Bibi Dong has watched their videos and knows the power of them. Many of them are comparable to Title Duluo, and they are even more powerful. It seems that these strong men are all single. It seems that you must be cautious when it comes to love, at least you can't touch these things until I grow up. Bibi Dongmai glanced at Yu Shaogang beside the fire, and her heart fell into complexity. Bibi Dong. So, do you think that a man with deep wisdom but no talent for becoming stronger is worth entrusting? Shajichu Shiyu. Huh? Miss Bibi Dong actually asked such a thing. Didn't it mean that you also met a man you like? Izumi Sagiri. I don't know, Beatrice. If you can't become stronger, doesn't it mean you have a short lifespan? If Miss Bibi Dong's talent is very strong, I am afraid it will only get further and further away from him. Yi Fan. Wisdom without strength alone cannot accompany the strong. Yi Fan. For this, I think Mr. Immortal must understand the most. His words were not too clear, because he was afraid of hitting BB Dong, but everyone in the group knew very well. The Immortal Cultivator has a long lifespan. When you stand at the top, you suddenly look back. A partner who cannot become strong together will only leave you in the end. For a moment, BB Dong, who was in the Starrk Great Forest, fell into silence. She sat down gracefully with her graceful posture, her beautiful eyes looked at Yu Shaoging's eyes, and the infatuation from the beginning gradually became transparent. BB Dong was attracted by Yu Shaoging's wisdom. She felt that Yu Shaoging was the most intelligent man in the world. But after what the group members said, she had to think carefully. BB Dong realized that the future of himself and Yu Shaoging would only be farther and farther apart. In the thousands of worlds, there is no shortage of highly intelligent men. There are many people who have both wisdom and strength. She can't make a wrong choice because of her momentary maiden heart. The members of the group didn't know, they changed the relationship between BB Dong and Yu Shaoging in the future. Zhang Jue. Ha ha. The old man also thinks that strength is the most important thing, and it is not too late to consider the so-called love matter after becoming stronger. Edward Newgate. I think so too. Yi Fan. Although this is very reasonable, I am afraid that Mr. Zhang is not suitable for marriage at this age. Zhang Jue. Ha 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 ha. The old man just didn't think about it. Shajichu Shiyu. Mr. Zhang has been practicing very fiercely recently. Are you going to download the Immortal Longevity Kung Fu again? Don't scare me. Zhang Jue. Little friends, don't be surprised. The reason why I went online is actually because I have something to ask for. Yi Fan. I would like to hear the details. Zhang Jue. I held a Luotian Dajao here, but in the end I was attacked and burned by a whole sex organization. I want a few friends in the group to help. Chiamon Tanjiro. Oh, if you need help, let the group owner post the task, and we will pick it up. Yi Fan. Is there finally another task? The opportunity to earn points is here? Tony Stark. I'm sorry you don't think about it, it must be me who got it, my armor is already worn. BB Dong. Can tasks earn points? With my current strength of the Soul Emperor, it shouldn't be a problem. Limrutern Pest. Other worlds, I want to go too. Gojo Satoru. Ah, I also want to play in other worlds, hurry up and send tasks, hurry up, quick, quick. Gojo Go. At Senju Zhongsheng. Senju Chongsheng's mouth twitched slightly, feeling that Gojo Satoru's personality was really bad. Senju Chongsheng replied helplessly, I know, I will send a task now. Gojo Enlightenment is good in all aspects, but there are some shortcomings in character. But innocuously, Senju Chongsheng immediately called out the task release function. The number of people participating in the task was chosen as 2. 2 people used to be enough to help sell everything. As for the points, Senju hesitated. There are so many things in the group, but the difficulty of this mission is very low. For a time, it was difficult for him to control this value. Huh? The system automatically settles? Senju Chongsheng was taken aback for a moment. Could this be an extra function after the chat group was upgraded? He clicked on the detailed page to check and learned that the system turned out to be automatically settled. It is the point reward, and the system gives the number of points according to the performance of each person. The upper limit is very high, and the lower limit is also very low. Whether Senju chooses the number of points by itself or the system settles on its own, each has its own advantages. Immediately, Senju Chongsheng chose the system automatic settlement button. Since I can't think of how much is appropriate, then leave the problem to the system to handle it. Ding. The group owner releases assistance missions. Task content. Help Zhang Jue clean up the intruder. Limited number. 2. Reward points. Unknown. This task is a campaign mode. Candidates, please click the confirm button. During the mission, the perspectives of the participating members will be presented in a live broadcast throughout the whole process. Tony Stark. It's here, it must be me this time. Gojo Satoru. Ha, think beautifully. Doriyashi. Interesting, the task, I probably understand it. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 124 Heavenly Mastercard Polygonum Cuspidatum. I'm sorry, teacher, I also want to participate in the task. If I am selected, don't count me as skipping class. Gojo. You are not allowed to participate, otherwise Polygonum Cuspidatum Yohito. Don't be Wujo teacher. At the moment the task was released, most people in the group clicked to participate. Those who did not participate were either new members who were hesitant, or they had something to do. Even Izumi Sagiri also chose to participate. Because of Shajichu Shiyu's participation, she took off directly, which also made Hakuan Sagiri a little uncomfortable. It must be selected. Hakuan Shawu squeezed her small pink fist and exhaled angrily. All those who participated started gearing up. Ding! Congratulations on the success of the mission. The participants in this mission are Men Yashi and Levi Ackerman. Doriyashi. Oh, interesting, Limrutern Pest. Huh? There is no me. Was. This guy will be selected. Is there any mistake? Shajiju Shiyu. Tony Stark. Both are newcomers, will there be shady? Polygonum cuspidatum. Hey, although there is no choice, there will be no shady, right? Is Tony now Immortal Black now? Tony Stark. Oh, nothing, you are wrong. Tony Stark withdrew a message and pretended nothing happened. Levi Ackerman. Something unexpected, but I want to know, does this mission require killing? Zhang Jue. Ha ha ha, thank you for your help, as for whether you can kill. Zhang Jue. Since the opponent chose to attack Longhushan, it would naturally bleed. The members of the group could not see Zhang Jue's face, nor could he hear his tone of voice. But from the text, I can feel the strong dominance and self-confidence. Polygonum cuspidatum. Wow, Mr. Zhang Haki. Yifan. What Mr. Zhang, want to be called a heavenly teacher. Polygonum cuspidatum urine. Ahaha, it's my fault, God is awesome. Senju Chongsheng. Without further ado, let's go now, you three, please be happy, I will get your world coordinates. He selected the military commander, the old master, and the emperor to directly capture the opponent's world authority, and the journey began. Alien World. Dragon Tiger Mountain, Tianchi Mansion. It was late into the night at this moment, but the place was lingering with fire, noisy and noisy. The silhouettes shuttled across the woods and buildings, throwing oil bottles in their hands, arbitrarily destroying everything here. Puff. Hula. The oil bottle hit Zhang Jue's feet and a raging fire started. He narrowed his eyes and sighed with helplessness in his mouth. Facing the chaotic scene, he didn't rush or slow down, and walked forward slowly as if there was nothing left. All the people standing in front of him were all shaken by his golden light curse on the spot, breaking through the rock walls. Oh, there are so many troubles. The old man needs to deal with a few bosses. These miscellaneous fish will trouble the two group friends. Zhang Jue's eyes opened slightly, and golden light lingered all over his body, speaking calmly into the air. The next moment, two figures appeared in front of him at the same time. Okay, no problem. One is wearing a strong suit, is very short, and there is a rectangular device on both sides of the trouser legs. After looking at Zhang Jue with a cold face, he looked at the man next to him. This person is wearing a black suit with red lining and a pink camera hanging on his chest. With an unruly smile on the corner of his mouth, he held the camera and pressed it at Zhang Jue. Click. A photo was printed on the spot, and he pulled out the photo and smiled slightly. The face of this world was photographed by me. Mama Yaji picked up the photo and looked at it, but it didn't take a few seconds to see it, and the photo was blurred in vain. Finally turned into a night card. Such a scene stunned Senju, who was watching the live broadcast. What the hell? Night card? Zhang Jue is not a common rider, what kind of card would this be? Senju Chongsheng said in amazement. The Doriyashi holding the card was also a little confused. The character shown on the card was exactly what Zhang Jue looked like. I probably understand. It turns out that the cards I can get are not limited to the power of common rider. For the first time, Mon Yashi showed a surprised face, and his smile gradually became ferocious. He didn't know whether this was a new ability created after fusion with other worlds. In other words, as long as some people are strong enough to a certain degree, they can become his cards. But there is an invincible way in front of me. Let us leave these miscellaneous fish to us, and the Heavenly Master can do his own things. Kamen Rider grinned and appeared on his waist like a Kamen Rider driver of a camera. The captain on the side didn't say much, the three-dimensional mobile device ejected and flew away directly with his body. The blood in his whole body was boiling at this moment, and a roaring sound of a giant elephant rang out, and he entered the arena without mercy. Not many people are ruthless. Thank you both, Zhang Jue thanked him, and immediately disappeared from the spot like a teleportation. Boom. 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 At this moment, several more wine bottles with flames smashed out. Manyashi dodged vigorously, staring coldly at the few miscellaneous fish that jumped out. Very well, if you take the initiative to attack me, don't blame me for bullying ordinary people. Doriyashi drew out the Emperor riding card, tapped twice with the index finger, and then inserted it into the drive. Remember, I am a passing common rider, transformed. Pushing his palm, a mechanical sound came from the void. Kamen Ride. Decade. The sound was accompanied by the armor covering the body, and the black and white pink colors spread all over the body. What the hell is this? Transformation technique. Making things, thinking that wearing a suit will make him stronger, kill him. Several small members of the whole sex organization showed disdain and sarcasm, and rushed towards the Emperor. Mamayashi touched the opponent with fists and feet, and his strong power surprised him a bit. It turns out that ordinary people in this world are not simple. Decade slash. The mechanical sound sounded again, and the Doriyashi drew out his long sword, slashing at several people continuously, making a dashing sound. Puff puff puff. In the Emperor riding state, Menyashi's overall physical abilities have been greatly improved, and his speed and strength are very powerful. Several whole sex people had no resistance at all, they were directly split in half by his long sword, and blood flowed all over the place. Mon Yashi was never a soft-hearted person. In the movie version, he killed all common riders. This is the real battle scene, how can the sword attack not bleed? But the nearby enemies were much more than that. Just after the fight was over, the Doriyashi was surrounded by a large group of new enemies. He calmly drew out the card of Zhang Jiwei just now and smiled mysteriously. Let me try this brand new card to see if I become a common rider or a real person. Zhang Jiwei's card was thrown into the drive by Menyashi casually and gently pushed with both hands. There was a new mechanical sound. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 125. Common Rider, Heavenly Master, Kamen Ride, Celestial Master. In an instant, mechanical sounds rang from all directions, and the golden barrier passed through the Emperor's body. A set of black and white Taoist robe was draped over him, and at the same time the mechanical sense of all parts disappeared, as if becoming extremely supple. The overall color is black and white, and the shape looks like a long way to go. The only thing that was abrupt was the pink driver around Emperor Chi's waist. Common Rider, Heavenly Master. In the chat group, Tony Stark and Shajichu Shiyu had their eyes widened, and they felt incredible. Shajichu Shiyu. Mr. Tony, how did he do this thing and change his clothes instantly? Is it nanocompression or quantum compression technology? The power of changing clothes in an instant made her very yearning. In addition to the fun of changing clothes in daily life, there are many things that can be done with the instant change of armor. If he had this technology, Tony would be able to face Thor and Hulk at the same time, switching back and forth between the anti-Thor armor and the anti-Hulk armor. Even integrate all the armor into one set, and change whatever you want. Tony Stark sweats slightly on his forehead and stares at the Doriyashi in the live broadcast with solemn eyes. He felt that this way of transformation was like throwing out the armor in the magic ring of storage and reassembling it. Tony Stark. I don't know, if he doesn't have a magic ring in storage, then the armor is loaded from the void. Tony Stark. Is it a spatial teleportation function? It seems that it can be done, but the space transfer technology. This technique is beyond Tony's ability, unless he spends a lot of time and devotes himself to it. Maybe he can understand a little bit of fur. Senju Chongsheng. The power of Kamen Rider is not purely from technology. Strictly speaking, it should be regarded as a fusion of magic and technology. If you really want to use technology to achieve the effect of Kamen Rider's transformation, it will be more difficult than climbing. Tony Stark. Technology and magic? It seems that I want to download the magic research in the group. Seeing Tony's words, Senju's brow raised suddenly. Tony's study of magic is nothing funny. Among other parallel universes in Marvel, there is the Supreme Master Tony Stark. In that Marvel universe, Tony combined technology and magic to become a super strong. In other words, Tony is very talented in magic. Shajiju Shiyu. I still have to learn magic, then forget it, I have no interest in magic at all. She doesn't have so many points to exchange magic, so she might as well develop her own Gundam armor. Polygonum Cuspidatum. It sounds complicated. Genjiao Daji Yu. Do you have the ability to transform? I also have the ability to transform, but the steps are relatively simple and the time will be shorter. Izumi Sagiri. You will also transform, and I also want to have the ability to transform, like a magical girl, it looks pretty. Beatrice. Sao-chan is really cute. Saitama. That's amazing, look at it, it's the golden curse of the Heavenly Master. As Saitama's message was sent out, everyone once again turned their minds of small talk to the transformed Mamayashi. I saw him insert a card in vain, push his hands on the driver, and the mechanical sound accompanied by golden light. The Emperor rides in the form of a heavenly teacher, releasing 5 thunders from the palm of his palm, and his whole body is enveloped by a golden curse. There was a loud bang. Dozens of all-sex men and horses flew up, crashed through several buildings, and died on the spot. The figure of Emperor Chi is like a ghost, carrying a golden rainbow across the Heavenly Master's mansion. With one punch, a large number of enemies can be taken away. With a single blow, you can hit the weather, causing big trees to break and buildings to collapse. It's a powerful force, both speed and power, and weird moves. It's a perfect card. I look forward to other worlds. Doriyashi was a little horrified in his heart. He traveled through so many night worlds, but for the first time encountered a night card that shocked him. Even when he got the Shiwon card, he didn't have many surprises. Today's Celestial Master card proves that he can also get cards from other people in the group. You know, the strength of the others in the group is countless times more terrifying than the old Heavenly Master. If Kamoyashi can get their card, it will be only a matter of time before he shakes Saitama on the front. Mon Yashi now very much wants to go to more worlds and get more cards. I even want to take a photo to the mysterious host. After cleaning up all the nearby enemies, Menyashi flashed and rushed into the woods. The commander's side was equally fierce. There are many woods on Longhu Mountain, which is very suitable for flying with 3-dimensional maneuvering devices. Levi, who was rippling in the woods, flew so fast, and his own combat power was not weak. For a moment, the enemies in the woods were killed and fled in embarrassment, and the smell of blood permeated. One by one the heads fell to the ground, and the blood splattered Liwell's windbreaker black and red. He stood beside several corpses, breathing slightly. Although these people are not as scary as the giants, the strength of these people is much stronger than the members of his investigation team. Both speed and strength are particularly powerful. Huh? Which are you? You seem to be amazing. Suddenly, a flat voice came from the side. Lavelle suddenly became vigilant and prepared for battle. But I saw a casually dressed, fair-skinned girl with dazzling hair, jumping from the tree to him. She looked like an innocent child, looking at Lul very curiously, and even sniffed it a few times. It's different from those bad guys, just go away. The fair-skinned girl suddenly lost interest in Levi, and then disappeared from where she was in the blink of an eye. Levi's face was dignified, and he didn't know if the man was an enemy. But he could feel that he was definitely not his opponent. It seems weak and ordinary, but the blood in the body is extremely terrifying. Senju Chongsheng, who was watching the live broadcast, gently put down the teacup. If he guessed correctly, the girl just now should be Bao Bao Feng. Bao Bao Feng's identity is extremely mysterious, and he is immortal. Senju Chongsheng also doesn't know the background of this person. Because before he crossed, he couldn't finish watching all the plots of the alien world. Linglong. Save me. The voice of the woman crying and screaming echoed in this secluded forest. A beautiful woman with a hot body and glasses has her limbs nailed to the ground with iron pipes, and blood is flowing all over the floor. There was a fat man with a wicked smile on her back, staring at her waist with his knees, making it immobile. There were also several men and women around with playful smiles on their faces. Everyone looked at the middle man at the same time, with long pink hair and a hot body, Lu Linglong, who was bruised and bruised. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 126 The shock of the group members in the dark grove. Two beautiful girls were covered in bruises. Lu Linglong's delicate torso was covered with scars, and she stood there a little broken in her eyes. This is a performance of gradual loss of strength. In order to save her best friend, she can be described as trying her best. Ha ha ha. It's perfect to take Lu Jin's granddaughter and let him exchange the heavenly urn at that time. An all-sex woman chuckled lightly. Shit. The fat man with his knee on the waist of the beautiful girl gently flicked the blood-stained iron pipe. There was a hint of trivial meaning on his face, and he smiled evilly. What kind of heavenly urn is the two little girls? We can't bear it. After all, he grabbed the beautiful girl's hair below, and started to tear the woman's clothes with the other hand. Oh, let me go. Linglong, save me. Tears flowed out of the flower, trying to resist, but her limbs couldn't move. Lu Linglong's eyes changed, and her heart was very anxious. But at the moment he is surrounded by all sex people, but he is also injured, and it is really difficult to free his hands. Seeing that Huer was about to be abused on the spot, Lu Linglong rushed over, but was blocked by several other men. At this moment, a sarcasm voice came from the side. Yo yo yo, it's really unbelievable to be violent to a beautiful girl in the grove. Everyone turned their heads plainly. I saw an emperor wearing a robe, but with a little mechanical shape, slowly walking out of the gloomy woods. Just like a humorous Taoist. Where's the clown? This is not your place to perform. The fat man sneered, threw a steel pipe in his hand, and shot at the gate Yashi. Call out. The steel pipe flashed past like a sharp arrow, and everyone didn't care about the clown dressed as a doorman. This is enough to take away the life of the clown. Ding! Suddenly, a clear voice sounded. The emperor rides his whole body with golden light, and the steel pipe just bends like it hits the iron wall. Door Yashi grabbed the steel pipe and threw his backhand at the fat man. Puff! Suddenly, the fat man's head was directly pierced into his head by a steel pipe, and the blood and brain plasma mixed together and sputtered out. Sudden changes made everyone's complexion drastically change. Fatty didn't even expect that the clown was himself, and the evil smile on his face had not disappeared. He had planned to taste this beauty under the hood, but his eyes went dark and he was killed instantly. Who are you? Everyone's complexion changed drastically, and they hurriedly made a fighting posture, running their own martial arts and spells. Door Yashi calmly drew the card from his waist and threw it into the drive. Form ride. Decade. Phantoms of cards flew out in the air, aiming at all members to line up. A common rider passing by, remember it for me. As the voice fell, Motoyashi rose into the air, making a kicking motion, and his body passed through a series of card phantoms. The golden light burst out, like a small round of sun falling from the sky. The figure of Emperor Qi turned into a few words, and kicked at these people at the same time under the dull gaze of everyone. Rumble. In an instant, the earth trembled, and explosions sounded one after another. The woods were all burning, and the fire was blazing. Even Zhang Chulin, the protagonist of this world who was hiding behind the tree and preparing to take a shot, was shocked to fall from the tree. The smoke dissipated, but the flame was still burning. The position where several all-sex members stood just now has become a pool of blood and bones. And the figure of Emperor Qi has already rushed towards the next place, swimming in the same way as Zhang Jue's. Lu Linglong and the two daughters of Huer stood in the center of the flame, staring blankly at the embarrassment of leaving. Until the smoke and dust of the explosion dissipated, it took a long time to recover. With the passage of time, more and more people died and injured in the whole organization. The offensive from the beginning has gradually turned into escape. Especially the abilities released by Menyashi are exactly the same as the old Heavenly Master. under the chase of the old celestial master Zhang Weizi and the fake old celestial master Yashi. It is a blessing for the people of the whole sex organization to escape. In the end, the Dragon Tiger Mountain incident ended in an extremely bloody way. Especially the Emperor's full fight. It shows the various powers of the Heavenly Master's mansion, which is almost a full-fire Celestial Master. Although the Celestial Master card gave the Door Master the power of Zhang Jue, in actual power, it was not as powerful as the Celestial Master himself. But Menyashi also has other night cards, plus night kicks and other big moves. The strength is still very terrifying. The death toll on the general sex side is several times higher than in the original work. In the 10,000 Realms chat group, the members of the group exclaimed, "Portgas d'Ace. I have to say that Mr. Kamen Rider's power is really powerful. Was. Cards of Otherworld, common rider cards that don't exist. Wazi. Is the history of the world changed or destroyed because of this man? Shajichu Shiyu. Destroy the world. Not so, is your world so fragile? In fact, Shajiju was right. The world of Kamen Rider is really fragile, and I don't know how many times it has been destroyed. It was just that the Kamen Riders finally turned the tide, reshaped and saved it." Was, who was in the world of Shiwang, had already slumped on the stool, his eyes solemn to the extreme. The Emperor is called the existence of the destroyer of the world. Limrutran Pest. Can you get the other's abilities by taking pictures? It's terrible. Ainzul Christine. It seems that I have to take it seriously. Manyashi. Don't flatter me too much. Although I have embarked on a different path, my card strength has not reached the limit of the parties involved. In the face of the enemy, he made a bold statement. But there are some things that should be kept low-key or low-key. Menyashi still knows how to measure. This is also an important reason why he has not overturned the car for so many years. Izumi Sagiri. Is there a girl's transformation driver? I want to become a Kamen Rider too. Kamen Yashi. Kamen Rider is not only capable of transforming with a driver, but also requires qualification and recognition. Saitama. Can you get close to the opponent's strength by taking pictures? Is Mr. Kamo Yaji's ability to capture with a camera? Manyaji. No, my camera is just a tool I use to take pictures of the world. It has nothing to do with ability. Saitama. But I know, you can fight with me, come to my world to take a photo, and then fight with me. Manyashi. Interesting, in fact, I am looking forward to it, but for your power, I want to gain the power of Mr. Immortal. Senju's longevity is the strongest in the group, and if you want to take it, it also takes the strongest power. And even if Kaushi took a picture of Saitama, it might be okay to learn from each other. If you want to be real, it's a little bit hanged. It would be great if I could, like the King of Time, gather all the card powers into one. Yashi felt a little regretful in his heart, and then turned around and walked into the teleportation channel back to the world of knights. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 127 Sending Kaeli Subaru to Marvel. The reason why King Shi is strong is precisely because he combines all the powers into one. This fusion effect is that 1 plus 1 is greater than 2. It is also something that Manyashi has been pursuing. Manyashi, like Shiwang, can become other knights, and even the King of Demon. But his King of every devil, but 1 plus 1 equals 2 power. And the King of Time has become the King of every devil, 1 plus 1 is greater than 2. This is the power of fusion. But today's thousands of worlds, let Menyashi embark on a more powerful path. He may not be able to beat Saitama if he gets the Saitama card, but he can try to get Senju Jongsei's card. Even if it is not the ultimate strength, it is definitely stronger than Saitama. After returning to his own world, Menyashi made up his mind to get in touch with Mr. Immortal more. As long as you have a good relationship with it, take a handsome picture, take a card or something, it's definitely not a problem. Beatrice. Huh? When are the newcomers in the group? Why don't I remember? Shajiju Shiyu. Portgas d'Ace. Tony Stark. Yifan. I have some doubts, but I suddenly thought of a question a long time ago. Ainzul Christine. It seems that something happened. Limrudran Pest. Ah, what are you talking about? Zhenjiao.gu. I didn't understand it. Edward Newgate. Whoops. It's really interesting. Senju Chongsheng. At Baikui C, take a look at the recorded video uploaded by yourself in the group. Beatrice. My recorded video? Okay, I'll go and see. Although she was a little confused, she didn't know when she made a video recording. But Mr. Immortal asked her to see it, so naturally it would be better to see it. Now the chat situation in the group was a bit confusing. She just asked when the newcomer entered, but so many question marks popped up. There are still many people who say strange things, making her also full of question marks. Maybe go to the file and look at it to solve the doubts in my mind. With curious thoughts, Beatrice clicked on a record folder in the file, which turned out to be all her own record videos. After a while, Beatrice returned to the chat group with a gloomy expression. Beatrice. Mr. Immortal, I hope you can help me return the Pleiades to his own world. At this moment, her mood is very complicated. Among them are irritability and confusion about the unknown, which makes her very unhappy. This feeling of being unable to control my memory is really uncomfortable. But Beatrix's words made Senju Chongsheng wonder how to answer. Because Nea Subaru is already a member of Otherworld. His previous world coordinates, it is estimated that even the system can't find it. If you want to take away the Pleiades, you can only take it to other worlds. For example, the world of Polygonum Cuspidatum, the world of Kasumigoka, the world of Sagiri, or the world of Jin Muken directly. The world they live in is very similar to the city where Subaru Keiui once lived, which is very suitable. Senju Chongsheng thought for a while, and immediately replied, Nea Subaru has been integrated into your world, and I can't find his world coordinates. Senju Chongsheng. The only way now is to put him in other worlds. Senju Chongsheng. As for whether his abilities will still take effect, it is unknown. If it works, whether it will reset the world of Beatrice or reset the current world will be even more puzzling. Tony Stark. Then take him to our world. Our world has merged two parallel universes, and it should not be so easy to reset. Senju Chongsheng, who was going to speak, saw Tony's words, and felt that there was some truth to it. And in the Marvel universe, as long as the Pleiades Kai-Yu is not in New York City, there will be basically nothing to do. Of course, Thanos' snap fingers can't be avoided. But if Keiui Subaru's reset ability is still there, Thanos' snapping fingers will just extinguish him. Wouldn't it turn back time? And because of the existence of infinite gloves, Thanos is likely to retain the previous memory. But he couldn't find the source of the countercurrent of time, so he could only snap his fingers repeatedly. That picture is particularly interesting when you think about it. Senju Chongsheng. Okay, then send it to Tony. Senju Chongsheng. At Bai Kui Si, I give you the right to pass through. Then you can push Keiui Subaru to the teleportation channel. After all, he left the chat group after he authorized it in the chat group. Master, hurry up, Itachi takes over Hokage today, why are you so slow? There was the sound of running footsteps outside, and Tsunade's fiery figure staggered in. After the return of the Itachi mission, it finally ushered in the position of 5th Hokage. Today is the ceremony for taking office. Most people in the village will go to the ceremony. Come on, don't rush, be careful of falling. Senju Chongsheng smiled and got up and walked towards Tsunade. I'm too old to fall. And I'm still a ninja and a cultivator, okay? Tsunade's pretty face suddenly showed dissatisfaction. So angry. Master always treats her as a child, no matter how old she is now, she still remains the same. It's alright, just your age, what is the difference from a child in my eyes? Senju Chongsheng smiled and touched Tsunade's hair, then laughed. That's because you are too old, not that I am too young, okay, although for the cultivator, my age is a bit less. But your age is also a younger generation in the world of immortality, okay. Tsunade murmured speechlessly. She grabbed Senju Chongsheng's shoulders and walked side by side to the ceremony site. Senju Chongsheng didn't think much about her intimate action. In his opinion, the intimacy between the master and the apprentice is not surprising. Besides, the more intimate actions are not uncommon, and Senju has long been used to it. As for what Tsunade thinks, I don't know. The location of the Hokage inheritance ceremony is below the Hokage rock. The place is already overcrowded, and civilians are all discussing 5th Hokage. Some people agree, while others question it. Everyone has seen Uchiha Itachi's contributions over the years. But his style and family background are not so accepted. Of course, no matter how the civilians discuss it. The fact that Uchiha Itachi becomes Hokage is already a certainty. Senju Chongsheng and Tsunade came to the front row and looked up. With a smile on his face, Namikaze Minato stood side by side with Uchiha Itachi. Unknowingly, so many years have passed, and the once little lowly Tsunade has grown up. Now it is the turn of the former little boy Uchiha Itachi to take over as 5th Hokage. Senju Chongsheng couldn't help but lament that time waits for no one. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 128 5th Hokage. Calculating time, it has been more than 60 years since I traveled to the Hokage world. Senju Chongsheng's age is more than 90 and nearly 100 years old. There are very few people who can live so long in the ninja world. Oh, Mr. Immortal hasn't seen him for a long time, he seems to be in the same state. Hearing this, Senju's eyes are looking for the source of the sound. I saw Jiraiya with white hair coming along with Uzumaki Naruto with a suitcase. Naruto returned from his practice at Mount Myoboku with a confident and bright smile on his face. It happened to be the succession ceremony of 5th Hokage. Welcome back to Konaha. Senju Chongsheng smiled and nodded. Ha 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 ha, Mr. Immortal is good. Huh, Sasuke. Long time no see, do you miss me? Naruto suddenly saw Sasuke in the distance, coming side by side with Shisui. Naruto suddenly rushed over, like a lover who had been separated for a long time, to hug his good brother. Tisk. Get out of here. Seeing Naruto flying over, Sasuke made a look of disgust, and slapped Naruto with a smile. The two yelled playfully. Shisui smiled gently and greeted Senju Chongsheng. Seeing this happy scene, Senju Chongsheng was also very happy. Because Itachi had committed an extermination, Sasuke naturally had no hatred in this regard. Even if he still wants to become stronger, he doesn't mean to leave Konoha. The most important thing is that Orochimaru, who let Sasuke leave Konoha, has long been controlled by Shisui with distinguished heavenly gods. Various technologies are being developed in Konoha Village, which has greatly accelerated the technological development of Konoha Village. Mr. Immortal, thank you very much for the illusion scroll you gave me earlier. I was investigating outside, and I have never had the opportunity to visit. A graceful Nami girl with long black hair and scarlet eyes came with lotus steps. Senju Chongsheng raised his brows. He didn't seem to know each other. You may not have seen me, but you have helped me. My name is Shi Rihong. Shi Rihong smiled charmingly, not pretending to be a gesture, but naturally soft. Senju Chongsheng knew it with a smile, and responded with a smile. That's it, it's just a matter of effort. If you need more illusion skills, you can always find me. Although he didn't have time to teach each other, it was okay to give her some scrolls. Mr. Immortal is really easygoing. I will definitely visit you next time. Upon hearing this, Yurihong chuckled and thanked him, and then chatted with Tsunade on the side. Everyone chatted here for a while, and the surroundings were already full of people. Standing above Namikaze Minato stepped forward with a smile and a loud voice. Welcome everyone, today is the day when Hokage succeeds. For a time, everyone's eyes focused upward. Namikaze Minato started a hearty speech, and the voice spread everywhere. The feelings of the villagers, with Namikaze Minato's speech, gradually became excited and enthusiastic. Every Hokage inheritance represents Konoha's new hope. Today, the inheritance of the Will of Fire is yours. At this final concluding remark, Namikaze Minato turned to Uchiha Itachi and said softly. He took off the Hokage hat and put it on Uchiha Itachi. At the same time, two ninjas wore a cloak with the words, 5th Hokage, on it. Namikaze Minato retreated silently, leaving the scenery to Uchiha Itachi. There was a wave of fluctuation in Itachi's eyes, and it could be seen that he was actually a little excited in his heart. Put on the Hokage cape and straighten the Hokage hat on your head. He stepped forward and raised his right fist high. From today, for Konoha Village 5th Hokage, I will inherit the Will of Fire and protect Konoha to the death. Wow! All of a sudden, with the exception of Senju Chongsheng and Tsunade, the whole village saluted Uchiha Itachi. In unison, the sound shook the entire Konoha. Congratulations 5th Hokage, succeeding the Will of Fire. Senju Chongsheng below smiled slightly, glanced at Itachi, and nodded slightly. Uchiha Itachi became 5th Hokage, and Senju Chongsheng was very happy. After all, this is his disciple. Today's Itachi is very different from the original. Under the guidance of Senju Chongsheng and the supervision of Shisui, Uchiha Itachi has become a true Konoha guardian. The ferret that protected Konoha in another way no longer exists. For a while, Konoha fell into a carnival. Regardless of Itachi's evaluation, he is always Konoha's guardian. The inheritance of the Will of Fire is a very gratifying thing. Master 5th Hokage is awesome. Now Konoha finally has 3rd Hokage coexisting. Yes, Lord 3rd generation and Lord 4th generation, now there are more Lord 5th generation. I wish Konoha prosperity. Itachi's father Uchiha Fugaku stood below, looking at his son proudly in his heart. Everything was as he thought, Itachi really became Hokage. This is the greatness of Mr. Immortal, and only then has the result today. Thinking of this, Fugaku's heart can't help but feel awe and gratitude to Senju. The world is really unpredictable, Senju Chongsheng sighed. Yeah, who would have thought that my cold little brother would actually become Hokage one day? Tsunade beside him nodded in agreement, and a gentle smile appeared on his face. 5th Hokage. What a coincidence, but unfortunately, today is the day of Konoha's destruction. You 5th Hokage is a bit miserable. Just as the whole village was preparing to host a feast, a voice came from the sky. Everyone suddenly turned dark, and looked up to see which turtle grandson was so naive. I saw a dark shadow standing in the sky. No one knew how his voice reached Konoha. The people of the Uchiha and Hyuga clan have sacrificed their lives and stared at this person. That costume is. It's Akatsuki organization. Damn, they must have come to catch our Jinchuriki. Quickly, protect Jinchuriki. The clothes of the red clouds and black robes were immediately recognized by the Konoha shinobi, and they couldn't help exclaiming. Akatsuki organization is here. Damn, is it at this time? Quickly, evacuate the civilians, all the ninjas are ready to fight. The Konoha shinobi yelled immediately, anger flashing in their eyes. Namikaze Minato heard this and immediately stood in front of Kushina, ready to fight. Shao. Today is my junior's enthronement ceremony, how can they bother them? Tsunade said viciously. Chakra and aura all over his body suddenly surging out, shaking the floor under his feet to crack. Senju Chongsheng opened his mouth, and finally chose to remain silent. Pen attacked the village. What the hell, did you come to Konoha so early? Shouldn't we finish catching the other tail beasts and come to Konoha last? Looks like there are still a few head and tail beasts yet to be caught, right? He stared at the heavenly Dao pain in the sky, and his heart was speechless. Today is the day when Itachi became Hokage, and the result is just that. In this case, Itachi needs to deal with these enemies, otherwise it will lose face today. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running.